2024 Taos SE or 2024 Jetta Sport, $275 a month. And 2024 Atlas Peak Edition's $5,000 off or 0.9% APR for 60 months. So ask for Jason, the main man Marshall at Gossett Volkswagen, 1875 Covington Pike, or online at GossettVWMemphis.com.
Where we're charging for it and charging less every day.
It's time to get up and get your day started.
Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker!
It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
And away we go. 20 minutes from now, Justin Rose and Ben Griffin will tee off from the first tee here at TPC Southwind, and we'll be underway for the 2024 FedEx St. Jude Championship. We welcome you into Sports 56 Mornings on this Thursday, August 15th, 2024. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy on location at TPC Southwind. We're inside the hub, which is just off the 18th fairway. Zach Boyd producing the program back in the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. It's where family and fun come together, and they have the world's biggest spa sale going on right now. The first hour of the program also brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Right now, walking to the hub, very comfortable, 74 degrees, but yes, the calm before the storm. 96 the predicted high today. Could see a stray shower, but only about a 15% chance. Then tonight, some clouds. Again, a stray shower or thunderstorm possible with a low of 80, but it will be your quintessential FedEx St. Jude Championship August weather. 96 today, 97 for a high tomorrow, and then the weekend 94, 90. Before, of course, early next week and the mid next week, we get into the mid 80s. But it is going to be brutally hot, but we are used to it here in Memphis. Coming up on the program today, of course, we'll be talking plenty about the FedEx St. Jude Championship. We will also talk to John Mackey at 8:05 from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee. He's the Vice President of Sales and Account Management, but really one of the guys who have spearheaded the whole volunteer movement at this tournament. As you know, if it's not for the volunteers, this would be awfully tough to put on. Over 1,600 volunteers help out each and every year with this great event. So we'll talk to John about that. Kerry Miller at 8:25 on Major League Baseball. Aaron Judge became the fastest player ever to 300 home runs as he hit one last night. He did so in 955 games, which is absolutely incredible. We'll talk to Kerry about that and all things Major League Baseball. And then it is here. We are ready to go. Another season with Harold Grader, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour from 9 to 10. Of course, as we get ready for Week 1 in a couple of weeks, we'll bring back our world-famous Pick 6, where one of you will go up against one of us for some delicious barbecue. Can't wait. It is a big part of our college football season each and every year. You can hit us up, of course, on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255. We are ready to go, Eli.
Yes, indeed. It is. The course looks fantastic. Beautiful day, sun rising. Folks are making all the preparations, all of that, and just over 15 minutes from now, we will have this thing underway. And they got lucky yesterday with the weather. The rain kind of kept skirting around and never had to deal with any of the heavy stuff or any of the storms, and so had a little luck weather-wise yesterday. And it's going to be a fun day and a fun week out here at TPC Southwind as always. And again, we thank our great sponsors like Landers Ford, our title sponsor, and they continue to be a big part of this golf tournament. As you see the Landers Ford vehicles all over the place out here and around town as the players and officials and everybody else driving those Landers Ford cars. And you can get a great deal on one of those after the tournament wraps up with just a few miles on it, you can get a great deal. Plus, it helps out St. Jude Children's Research Hospital when you buy those cars as well from Landers Ford. We'll keep you updated on the scoreboard as today goes along and the week goes along. That's brought to you by Sissy's Log Cabin. Also, First National Bank, Jason's Deli, Wade Incorporated, your North Mississippi John Deere dealer, Ronnie Grisani's Town Village Audubon Park, Banyan Tree Realtors, Wilson's Power Wash, DeSoto Honda, Jim's Place, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, and Memphis Tourism and the Memphis Sports Council. We are here in the hub right along number 18 Fairway, 18th and Main, as they like to call it. You've got the gift shop. You've got us here in the hub and a lot of other folks in the hub where you can win prizes, and you can win prizes from us. We got 4 tickets for the Memphis Tigers football game against Troy on September 7th. That's week 2 of the season. All you got to do is stop on by here at the hub. You can fill out a little entry blank, drop it in the box, and we'll be drawing for those. You got today and tomorrow all day long to stop by and enter. So drop in an entry, and you got a chance to win 4 tickets to see the Tigers take on Troy. But AutoZone's here, Capital Vacation, Southland Casino, Nike, others. They got all kinds of, you can spin wheels, you can hit golf shots, you can putt, you can do all kinds of things to win prizes here in the hub. And one thing for sure, no matter how hot it gets outside, when you come to the hub, you will cool down.
You will cool. You will freeze.
I can actually see my breath. That's how cold it is here in the hub to get the day started. It is, it's crazy. It's amazing how cold they're able to keep it in here. I don't know how it's possible, but by golly, they do it.
Like you said yesterday, the one side is open, which is amazing. So that heat and humidity is coming into the one side, and yet it is still like Antarctica in here. I like it. I have no problem because I got a little jacket on. You got a little jacket on. We're fine. So
I'm not fine. I might go see if they sell blankets in the darn gift shop.
Eli hates the cold. He walks out during every break and warms up. But here's the great thing. If you're coming out, you come see us, and you cool off. And then you go back out and watch the golf.
If you've been outside for a while, like if you've been watching the golf, this will feel amazing walking in here.
No question.
Sitting in here for 3 hours gets a little chilly.
That's true.
Yeah, if you've been out there and you just need a place to come cool down, this will do it. This will wake you up. This will get you ready to go here at the hub along number 18. So you can come on by, see us. They got a bar here. They got Pronto Pups right outside. So you really got everything you need. They got a charging station here. So they got everything you need right here at 18th and Main along number 18 Fairway for you to make sure your day is a good one.
Once again, it's the top 70 from the FedEx Cup point standings. There is no cut. Tee times will start at 7:20, as I mentioned, with Justin Rose and Ben Griffin going off one. Everybody will go off one, so you don't have the dual tee times with somebody going off 10, somebody going off one. Very easy to follow, and it will be in tandems, so pairings. I love it. I love the way it is. Hopefully there's no weather issues or anything that would cause them to have to change that. So you could just look down your pairing sheet. You can get a pairing sheet when you walk in, free of charge, and just follow whoever you want to. And, of course, the big grouping that everybody's waiting for, 12:45 today. They'll tee off at 9:35 tomorrow morning in round 2, and that is Scotty Scheffler and Xander Schauffele.
Yep, number 1 and number 2. All of the pairings are based on the standings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, and 8 on down the line. Everybody's paired together by that. The order doesn't go by that. But, so you got 1 and 2 playing with each other through these first 2 rounds, and then we'll see what happens over the weekend. But should be, I would imagine, a good crowd with them. Rory McIlroy and Colin Morikawa, I would imagine, going to have a pretty darn good crowd with them as well. So it's just the top golfers in the world, so it should be a fun time.
Colin Morikawa, not only a great golfer, but apparently a terrific instructor, as he worked with one Penny Hardaway yesterday, as Penny really racked his brain, asking him questions on the putting green. And I assume Penny played with Colin Morikawa, right? They were matched up. Yeah. So he was able to pick his brain throughout the day. And what Colin Morikawa said about Penny Hardaway, he is a legit 2 handicap. He said some people say they're a 2, and they're not a 2. Some people say they're a 3 or a 4, and they're not a 3 or a 4. He said he is a legit 2. He can play the game. And so Penny had a good time out there. I think Penny today is playing over at Spring Creek Ranch in another fundraiser for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. A lot of celebrities are going to be on hand for that, including Luke Kennard of the Grizzlies, former Grizzlies head coach Lionel Hollins, Ron Rivera, the former NFL head coach, who's going to join us tomorrow on the show. So that's going on today over at Spring Creek Ranch, which is sort of weird, sort of strange, because you got the tournament starting here at TPC Southwind. But for St. Jude, it's all about raising money, and we know what they do. So I think you can understand, even though it's a little bit of a conflict as far as the timing is concerned, but you can completely understand what they are trying to do, and that is raise as much money as they can. Some other highlights from yesterday. I'm not talking about the actual Pro-Am itself, but some of the interviews that took place and some of the things that were said. Scottie Scheffler, the world's #1 golfer, was asked about the FedEx Cup setup, and he said the playoff is silly. He was very honest. He said it's silly. You can't call it a season-long race and have it come down to one tournament. Now, the last couple of years, here's what's happened to Scheffler. In 2022, he squandered a 6-stroke lead on the final day. He shot 73, and Rory won the FedEx Cup. Last year, now, he only has himself to blame. He went 1 under par over 72 holes on his own. Now, he started at -10, right? Correct? Mm-hmm. I think he started at -10. So he's already given -10. He only went -1 for 72 holes, and it ended up being Victor Hovland winning last year. Scheffler was 16 shots behind Victor Hovland. So a little bit of it is maybe because he did not finish strong the last 2 years. I don't know if he'd sing a different tune if he won the Cup last year or the year prior. But when you think about it, I don't want to put it down, because certainly Memphis is highlighted in this FedEx Cup playoff. We are the first of the 3 events. But it is a little silly. I can understand where he's coming from. It doesn't seem like all it does, as far as taking in the entire year into consideration, is how they are given points or strokes to begin that event. And that's it, though. But
that's the way sports are. Like, you have a
a team's not given a lead in a game.
Well, no, but you get seeds for the postseason, and you get home field advantage, and you could have been the best team all season long, and then you could lose, and you're not the champion. Even though you were the best team all year long, you're not the champion. Like, that's the way sports are. Like, you have a season to dictate where you are positioned and seeded for a postseason, but then you have to win in the postseason. You don't like that. I don't.
Yeah, but the tour championship. If Scotty doesn't win at East Lake in Atlanta, he's still going to be the player of the year. It's not going to affect his entire
exactly. And people
resume.
win MVP awards and don't win championships. Like, that's like I don't like.
So you have an issue with what he said?
I don't care what it doesn't matter to me. But I was kind of like, when he was saying it, I was like, it's a little like, to say you can't call it a season-long race. Well, yeah, you can, like, because the entire season builds up to this. Like, he's #1, and he will be #1 going into East Lake because he's had a great season. But that doesn't guarantee. Like, so according to him, it should just be over. He's won the championship. We don't even do playoffs because he's had such a great year. Like, so what?
Yes, I think that's what he's alluding to. That it's silly to have a playoff in golf when that guy accomplished one of the greatest individual seasons of all time, that he feels that he should be the FedEx Cup champion. He didn't say that, and I don't know if he would say that or would admit that, but I think that's the avenue he's going down. Like, he doesn't like the fact that there's a playoff. He could get knocked out when he had the best season by far.
And he said, if I go into East Lake and my neck flares up and I can't play, then I finish 30th. Well, yeah, I mean, it sucks, but yeah, like, that's, again,
Florida State lost their quarterback. They ended up not in the playoffs.
Again, the Chiefs could have had Patrick Mahomes get hurt last year and not play in the Super Bowl.
Right.
And they lose, and you go, man, that really sucks. But, like, that's sports. Like, I don't, like, and I just, the part that kept driving me crazy is he kept saying, you can't call it a season-long race when it only comes down to one tournament. No, it doesn't come, yes, it comes down to one tournament, but it is a season-long race. You are #1 because of what you've done this season.
But now it's the postseason.
And
that was the regular season. Now it's the postseason, right?
Yeah, but he still got the lead. Like, he still is set up based on what he did all season long to have a lead going into the final tournament.
Well, it's just like you said with the seeds, right? For what you did in the regular season determines where you're seated and who you'll play in the postseason. So really it comes down to this. You're either against the postseason or for the postseason, the playoffs, which we're involved in here in Memphis. If not, then yes, he's the champion of the 2024 PGA Tour. But we have a playoff now. So either like it or you don't. And I think that's what it is. I think it's basically he doesn't like a playoff.
And his whole thing, you can't call it a race for the full season. That'd be like saying, like, in the Daytona 500, the guy who's led all day long gets in an accident on the final lap and loses. You can't really call that a race to the finish because it came down to one lap.
Right.
Well, no, it is. Like, that is what exactly. I mean, it is a race. You get points all season long to determine the postseason and where you'll be positioned. And again, now, if the only case to me he could make would be if he believes because of how many points ahead you are, like maybe you should have a bigger lead than the one stroke at Eastlake. If he wants to say, if I'm up by 4,000 points going into Eastlake, I should have more than a one-shot lead, I'll accept that. Like, yeah, if you want to make that argument, I could. If he's got a 4,000-point lead, and then second to third is 100 points,
right?
But his lead over first is the same as the second over third. I would buy that argument if you want to do something based on points, but I don't like what bothered me is he kept repeating over and over again. You just really can't call it a season-long race when it comes down to one tournament. I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense.
No, and your point's well taken. I think it's basically the guy feels that we shouldn't have a playoff. That's what I'm buying from what he said, because he feels that he's already had the best season out there, and he feels that he is the champion of the year, and if he doesn't win the FedEx Cup, then there's an injustice because he dominated so much during the regular season, although Xander Schauffele won 2 majors. Let's not forget about Xander Schauffele's season. Okay, something else from yesterday. Wow, this story. Hideki Matsuyama will not have his regular caddy or his swing coach this week, presumably, unless a miracle happens, after they were robbed in London. Hideki Matsuyama wins the bronze at the Paris Summer Games. They stop over in London before they come to Memphis. Again, it's himself, his caddy, and his swing coach. They rob wherever they're staying. Hideki's wallet is stolen, but they do not steal his passport nor his bronze medal. I don't know if they didn't see it or whatever, which is weird. But the caddy and the coach had their passports and their visas stolen. So they have immediately gone back to Japan, asking for expedited documents to try to get back as soon as possible. I think it's going to be awfully tough to get back to Memphis, but hopefully they'll be ready to go next week in Colorado. I don't know how quickly they can get that done. Like I said, maybe it can be done. Maybe it's a miracle. But what would have happened if Matsuyama's visa and passport was stolen? He'd be in the same boat, would he not?
I have no idea. I don't know if there would be some way to make some special exception. I have no clue. It sucks for them. I mean, I obviously having anything stolen, but I mean, having your passport stolen, the headache that's got to be, everything else, and for him to not have his caddy and coach, everything else, like that's a complete nightmare situation.
Oh man, that's terrible for him. And then Jay Monahan, the commissioner, friend of the show, was in Memphis yesterday and talked about a number of different topics. And, of course, the one I think that probably interests the most people out there who follow the game of golf is what's happening with PIF and with the PGA Tour. Monahan says that the Tour and Live Golf will continue to operate separately next year. However, he says the negotiations with PIF are in a good place. but he did not offer a timeline for a resolution that would create a new business and reunite the game. The schedule was released yesterday, so this coincides with the schedule, which is pretty much the same schedule as this year. I think they flip-flopped the Memorial and the Canadian Open, but pretty much the same schedule. He said they're very complicated discussions. There's a lot of elements to them. When you have the level of interaction, we are continuing to meet and move forward and discuss and debate. You can't be anything but hopeful. As it relates to times and time frames and where we are, I'll just say we're in a good place with the conversations. That's the most important thing. I don't see how they're in a good place if there likely is not going to be any changes to the 2025 season. That would be 2 full seasons after the big announcement that they made, that they had come together. I'm not privy to the discussions. I don't know what's going on, but to me it doesn't seem like they're close.
I mean, when you're talking a lot of money, billions of dollars, all that stuff, and with the investors that the PGA Tour got, they're not in desperate need of any money. So who knows whether anything will ever happen or what will end up happening.
Justin Rose, it's 7:20. I assume right now he is putting that tee ball into the air on one, and we are underway at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. We got a lot of news from other sports, including Memphis Tigers basketball news. We have news from the renovations at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. We have NFL news and college football news, and it's not good because the injuries continue to mount. We have Grizzlies training camp news. It's all coming up as we continue here on Sports 56 Mornings. One of our terrific sponsors is All-Star Chevrolet. All-Star Chevy's end of summer sale is going on right now in Olive Branch. No matter what new Chevy or pre-owned car you're looking for, our friends at All-Star Chevy have it. It's on the lot, it's in the showroom, or they can get it for you. They got 20 to 30 new Silverados are marked down as much as 12%. That'll save you thousands. Every Tahoe you could want for road trips and tailgating, great deals on them. Check this out. Law enforcement, all first responders, healthcare, teachers, military, college students, and graduates get an extra $500 bonus. They have all the pre-owns that you want. The trucks, the Ram trucks, the Silverados, the Broncos, the 4Runners. They have Audis and Hyundais and Palisades. They even have one sweet Corvette Stingray on the lot. It's the best week to get the most money you can on any vehicle you want to sell. So bring it to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch during this great deal and get a big check today. Don't miss All-Star Chevy's end of summer sale. It's going on right now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet, or check them out online at allstarautogroup.com. Just underway on a Thursday. Round 1 of the FedEx St. Jude Championship underway. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. For nearly 2 decades, we've installed some of the best roof systems across the Mid-South. To the tens of thousands of clients we've served, we are honored. So many of you call our team at Brian Elder Roofing your roofers. Our team is dedicated to serving you and keeping your family safe, dry, and mold-free. The recent hailstorms have caused massive damage, and many of these will go unnoticed for years, even though the golf ball-sized hail we just experienced in the Mid-South compromises even the best-built roof system. Whether we find damage or not, your photos are securely stored for future reference. Call Brian Elder Roofing today for a total evaluation of your entire roof system free. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. Call me at 901-867-0303. That's 901-867-0303. Or visit us online at brianelderroofing.com.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
If you love sports
sports, and Mexican food, you can get the best of both at Los Cabos Mexican Bar and Grill on Summer near Graham. Watch all the big games on all the big TVs on all the walls at Los Cabos. And enjoy premium tequila shots anytime for just $5.50. Celebrate every day with lunch specials from 10 to 3 and happy hour from 3 to 8. Lunch is just $6.75 to $10.99 and margaritas start at $3.99. Experience real Mexican cuisine along with great sports at Los Cabos on Summer near Graham.
Genesis Diamonds' most extreme values on diamonds is coming to an end. You have until Sunday at 5 p.m. to get the price of a lifetime on a certified GIA certified diamond ring. Hey, it's Eric Hasseltine, and response has been incredible. People have driven for hours to buy like a dealer buys. All Genesis GIA certified diamond rings are on sale. A full 20% discount off Genesis' already amazing everyday value price. I'm talking about values you never thought possible. From a half carat to 20 carat diamonds, all hand-picked for maximum brilliance and all graded by the most prestigious gem lab in the world. Genesis has the largest GIA diamond selection you've ever seen. Rounds, ovals, radiants, cushion cuts, pear shapes, emerald cuts, princess cuts, everything you can think of. Now through Sunday, you can take advantage of this rare buying opportunity on the most gorgeous rings. Limit one per customer, please. Get the Genesis no middleman direct importer price, minus an extra 20% on all GIA diamond engagement rings. Now through Sunday only at Genesis Diamonds on Popular Perkins Extended. See store for details.
They're taking care of business in Memphis right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. So far, so good. As far as serious accidents go, there's been several EMS calls out here the last 15, 20 minutes. It's trying to crank up over here on Sam Cooper right when you come off the interstate. They continue to work over here throughout the day on Sam Cooper near the interstate as it builds southbound. Austin P. Highway getting up on that ramp now to I-40. I-40 itself coming inbound out of Fayette County. That's 40 coming westbound there at 269. Looks pretty good at the moment. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. They want you to know they are your full-service, family-owned jewelry store here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Back here at the Hub, TPC Southwind round number 1 of the FedEx St. Jude Championship is officially underway now. If you're making your way out to the course today, come on by, see us. We're going to be here all day long at the Hub, broadcasting live. And you can register to win 4 tickets for the Memphis Tigers game against Troy, second week of the season, September 7th. All you got to do is fill out an entry form, drop it in the box for a chance to win. Plus, while you're here in the Hub, you got all kinds of other chances to win from other folks. And you can also purchase yourself a nice adult beverage, a Pronto Pup. Got the gift shop right across the way. Plenty of things to do in the Hub while you cool down as well.
Eli, let me update the weather now because there's a new forecast. It says the heat index today could get up to 114. So please avoid outdoor activities.
Does it have the wind chill in the Hub? I believe it's negative 30.
Please avoid outdoor activities. Sorry, the best golfers in the world are here. They have to play golf outdoors. It says unsettled weather returns tonight into Friday with multiple rounds of storms. What? I saw the last forecast was a lingering shower, maybe a quick thunder boomer. Few storms may become severe with large hail and damaging winds. Is this just, again, the typical trying to scare the hell out of us?
Well, when it's hot as hell, there's always a chance storms are going to pop up.
storms, but I mean, this is like run for your lives.
But again, no matter how hot it is outside, you can come in here, cool down, and you will feel great for a few minutes at least. Couple of texts here on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 901-360-8255. Raider Corey texted. He said, so if a team goes 17-0 in the regular season, I guess they're Super Bowl champions no matter what. Yeah, technically, I guess the year that the Patriots were undefeated, that's unfair. Right? Eli Manning should not have a Super Bowl title because that's not fair to the Patriots. They clearly were the best team all year. They're champions. You can't take that away from them.
Right. I mean, in reality, you have a regular season, and then you have a postseason. We talk about it all the time about teams being really good in the regular season. Hey, the Grizzlies won 50 games. They were number 2 in the West, and then they get knocked out early in the playoffs. Well, the regular season was a success. The postseason was a disappointment. With Scotty Scheffler, that's where they are now. They have a playoff in golf. So, yes, what you did in the regular season is phenomenal. You and Tiger have the greatest, and Byron Nelson, have the greatest single-season individual, accomplishment. But it doesn't matter now. Now it's all about the postseason. Can you get it done and win the FedEx Cup? So, yeah, I think it's just a guy who does not like the fact that they have a playoff.
Randy says Scheffler's like the Lamar Jackson of golf, great during the regular season but can't finish the deal. Well, the funny thing is, and Scotty Scheffler actually kind of joked about this yesterday because he was asked about his Texas Longhorns joining the SEC. And he said, I'm a bit of a delusional sports fan anyway because I'm a Cowboys fan, and every year I think they're going to get it done.
Ouch.
And they haven't done it. So Scotty Scheffler is used to postseason disappointment.
Right.
So maybe that's the thing. Maybe between the Cowboys and himself, maybe that's why he just doesn't want postseason. He's tired of postseason disappointment. So he's like, I'd just get rid of the postseason. We'd be just fine. Me and the Cowboys. Get rid of the NFL postseason, get rid of our postseason, and maybe me and the Cowboys can win something.
He's a big fan of James Harden in Game 7.
So he admits that he is a delusional sports fan. I'll give him credit up front. He says, I am a delusional sports fan to begin with.
Well, I know that we've said it, you and I and others have said it, that Scotty Scheffler has wrapped up Player of the Year. But again, how about if Schauffele comes out, wins a couple of these 3 playoffs, and then wins the FedEx Cup, and once again, Scheffler disappoints in the FedEx Cup playoffs? Is it still a surefire thing? I believe it is, but we're getting now into that territory of Scotty in the postseason can't deliver, as the texter just said.
Yeah, I mean, again, unless Schauffele were to win all 3 playoff events, Scotty Scheffler is the Player of the Year.
So did you see Zach Boyd, did you see the video of the press box coming down at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium?
I did.
I did see that.
And
how cool was that?
I don't know how to feel. Like, I still haven't processed my feelings on it.
What do you mean?
I don't
You're
know.
going to get something
it's
better out of this.
Because like you and like Eli, we spent some time. We spent a lot of time in that press box. So just see it coming down, it's great. But then at the same time, it's like, man, that's the old press box just gone away.
I just want to know where the dead bird that sat outside the window
right.
for about 7 years.
Right.
I wonder what he's looking down upon this and thinking. That was his roosting spot. For 7 straight years, that dead bird sat there.
He
before
did.
it finally just decayed into nothing.
And no, it decayed into a chalk outline.
Yeah, that was just a chalk outline. So I want to know what that bird, somewhere up there in bird heaven, that bird's looking down and saying, that was my home. I spent a lot of time there.
It's a sad day for the bird.
He's like, there are people, every Saturday, these people would come in there and they'd all stare at me. It's really weird, very inappropriate. It's like I had a funeral every Saturday. I had a viewing every Saturday. A bunch of people would come and they would sit there and look at my dead body. And then now, they no longer can do that. It's gone. It's officially gone. I feel like in the new one, somewhere, I would just once all the renovations are done, I'd like some bird to die and they leave it there forever.
And until I became the sideline reporter about 5 years ago, whenever that was, it seemed like my seat was always the one that looked directly into the bird.
I was right in front of me. I sat down, literally, I couldn't think, they're going to clean this up eventually.
No, they weren't.
And then the next year, come back game 1. Nope, didn't clean it up. And then I watched it slowly decay into, just a outline of what used to be there. And then I'm like, and not because they cleaned it up, just because it finally just decayed and eroded and vanished. But I always thought, like, seriously, all you got to do is, like, open the window, like, reach something out there and just, like,
a little squeegee.
Just throw it. Push it.
When it was still, yeah. I'm talking about even the chalk outline.
Like,
just go in there and squeegee it, clean it a little bit.
I would have thought, like, week 1, dead bird outside the window, very reachable. I would have thought, hey, somebody go up there and just get rid of it.
It's tradition, brother. It's tradition.
They said no. And then year after year after year after year after year, they said no. That bird stays here until this stadium goes.
It's part of the history. Now, Zach,
I want to go over there, through the rubble and find the outline and hang it on my wall.
Put it in the Louvre. So Zach was talking about his emotions. I don't know how I feel. Well, now you know about the people that will lose their mind if the Mid-South Coliseum is ever knocked down. They will go on a vigil. They will go on a hunger strike.
Speaking of vigils, tonight the Elvis Vigil.
It is the Elvis Vigil. But as far as seeing that, because that's what I thought the whole thing was going to be, a Vegas casino implosion where everything comes down into a perfect pile. That wasn't the case. But they kept taking little pieces apart, like it was Jenga. They were pulling a piece, and finally yesterday, because I was at practice yesterday, and I was talking to a few other members of the media about that and whether or not they'll be ready for the blue seats, the chairbacks on the west side, because they're not going to have some thing possibly that could collapse, and they will allow those people to sit there. And those are their assigned seats. Those people have already bought and purchased those tickets. So I wondered how long it would take. It looked like when I saw it yesterday before the implosion that it would take a while. Frank Bonner kept telling me, no, they'll get it done real quick. And then all of a sudden the video comes out, and here comes this thing tumbling down the press box. Now they got a couple of more sections to take away, but I would imagine that everything will be out of the way for the start of the football season on August 31st, which was the basic goal of phase 1 by this company, is to have that all down and then have the other side, the press box renovated, the coaches' rooms moved over there, the television compound, everything's going to be on that side. Supposedly that's all done by August 31st, and the knockdown on the one side, the west side, by August 31st. Now, as far as the renovations and the construction on the west side, that's phase 2, and then eventually phase 3. That'll take 2 years. But it was really cool to see that video. It's almost like these people, the construction company, know what they're doing.
Yeah, you don't seem to think that, because you keep questioning like everything about it, but they've done it before. They know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, but I'm a pessimist. I doubt everybody. I have no faith
you think
in
they
anybody
can get that out of there?
world.
First of all, they got 2 more weeks. It's plenty of time. Like, yeah, they'll be okay.
Politicians, police, sports, they got nobody I have faith in.
They know what they're doing.
I think they do, but we'll see. But anyway, that was really cool, that video. Also yesterday was news from the Grizzlies. Speaking of renovations and construction, because there is the ongoing upgrades going on inside FedEx Forum, basically to the rigging grid and the sound system inside the lower bowl, training camp will take place in Nash Vegas, October 1st through the 3rd. It will be at the Ensworth School. It'll be the first time that the Grizzlies have had camp away from Memphis and in Nashville since 2013. And, of course, everybody's going to lose their mind thinking that, that means the Grizzlies will eventually relocate to Nashville. No, it's because of the construction that's going on, and they have to have room to do everything they need to do. It'll be Media Day on the 30th, and then they'll take off and go to Nashville for those 3 days. Long training camp. You know the NBA, they have that long, tedious training camp.
Yeah, yes. It's it'll almost take longer to drive to Nashville than it will to that they'll be there.
But again, first time since 2013. Now today at 2 o'clock Central, the NBA schedule will be released. Big deal, right?
Sure. I don't know. It's funny. It's so funny the way the NBA does it. Like the NFL, like tells you months in advance, like this is our release date. We're gonna have shows all over about it, everything else. The NBA, it's like 2 days before they finally say, okay, yeah, this is the day on Thursday. Even though they've known for a long time that it's going to be Thursday, they're like, By the way, Thursday we're going to have our schedule come out.
Did you see?
And it'll be announced on NBA Today.
But did you see when they announced yesterday the Cup schedule? Right, not the full NBA schedule, but for the
2
Cup.
days ago they announced that. Yeah.
2 days ago. Okay. Did you see the one video from Portland, the Trailblazers? Was it the Otter that was dunking the basketball?
I did not see it.
Yeah, so they try to get into the whole NFL fun, the way they release the schedules. They had this Otter just taking a ball and just dunking it, continuously dunking it. But I didn't see if any other teams put out any video for that. It was just, I think, in response to the NFL, their great release of their schedule.
And again, but the NFL, again, which is the same thing as the Cup, because the NFL, you already know the opponents. All they're literally releasing are the dates.
Right.
Like everybody knows all of the teams are going to play. All the fans know the teams are going to play. All they're doing is releasing the dates, but that's the way the NFL does it, and people get infatuated with that stuff, anything the NFL does, so they will watch a schedule release show, even though, again, you know everybody, your favorite team's going to play.
Yeah, schedule releases are strange. I found out that the Tigers basketball schedule is now complete. They added another bye game, and I don't know who that opponent is, but they have their non-conference schedule complete. The conference, we don't know all the details for that. So until they put that all together, it will not be released. And I remember when Jeff Crane told us that it wouldn't be released until September. More than likely, that's the road we're going down. You have to finalize exact dates and
they
times,
know the conference
networks.
opponents.
They know the opponents.
Know where they'll be played. Just have to put dates and times to it.
Dates and times,
which
exactly.
Means they basically got to work with television to get the schedule corrected.
Television, you have to work with the arena if you share the arena. The Grizzlies obviously sharing with the Tigers, or more so the Tigers sharing with the Grizzlies. So they got to make sure that there's open dates. Of course, you got concerts and things of that nature. But yeah, we know the opponents. I guess what will come out of the schedule will be certain things like how many are you playing 3 games in 4 days, or I don't even know if they have that anymore, but how long are the road trips? How tough is the first month of the season? We already know the Cup opponents are going to be extremely tough because that Group C they play in is really, really tough.
No, the Grizzlies schedule, I think there is, I mean, because there are some question marks about what teams will come in and not come in multiple times, things like that. When do the Lakers come in? When, do you get the Lakers on a Friday night? Do you get them on a Tuesday night? Like those types of things.
Right.
With the Grizzlies schedule, there's some things that matter on the release of the schedule of finding those types of things out. They matter greatly to the Grizzlies on those types of things. So,
Martin Luther King Jr. Day game, an opponent, all that stuff.
The NBA
right?
probably has the most mystery of anybody as far as the release of the schedule.
Right, and for our friend Dennis O'Connor and all the folks that deal with tickets, putting together plans, mini packages, things of that nature, seeing who they play, when they play, how many games are on a Saturday night, how many games are on a Friday night, so on and so forth. So that'll be released today at 2 o'clock. When we come back, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna add on to what you said about Portland and their videos. So two other teams have released videos for the NBA Cup. It's the Jazz. They have like a little dice game. I forgot the name of it, but
they got a dice game.
What are they? They're
playing craps.
And their schedule. And then the Nuggets, they end up having Christian Brown and Julian Strawther to do a live, quote-unquote, live report at the facility of the schedule this year.
But nothing as we know right now that the Grizzlies did. Apparently they didn't do anything as far as that. Maybe it'll catch on. Maybe this will become a thing.
Well, the Grizzlies, I don't know if they corrected, but was it yesterday morning on their website, they had the locations of the games all wrong. So
Did they really?
They didn't even have that correct. I think they actually listed them all as home games.
They had one job. When we come back, we have one job. We're going to give you some NFL and some college football news. Unfortunately, it's injury news. We'll give you the latest with that. Also, an update on the Memphis Tigers basketball roster, as Penny Hardaway did speak a little bit yesterday to the media and had some things to say. We'll do that when we return.
They have corrected it. Now they have the locations right. I'm pretty sure they had all listed as home games yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Which would have been awesome if the NBA would have the NBA would have screwed that up. and didn't realize that the Grizzlies, their 4 Cup games were all at home?
Well, they said the Grizzlies had such a bad year last year and such bad luck with all the injuries. We're going to give you 4 home games in the Cup. Not to be.
Genesis Diamonds. Right now, you've got until Sunday, 5 p.m., right about the time the golf tournament's wrapping up. Well, that's when your opportunity to get a great deal at Genesis Diamonds. Really, kind of a one-of-a-kind deal that they're offering right now. 20% discount off their already amazing prices on all GIA-certified diamond rings. That's right. It only goes through Sunday, though, 5 o'clock. So you got to take advantage of it this week out at Genesis Diamonds. Poplar and Perkins Extended is where you'll find them. That's on every size, every shape, every cut, every GIA-certified diamond ring. Extra 20% off those already amazing prices. The selection will blow your mind. They've got something for everybody. They got all different sizes, all different shapes, and they've got a great staff to help you pick out that perfect diamond for you. And right now, you'll get 20% off on those diamonds. Go check them out. Poplar and Perkins Extended, Genesis Diamonds.
You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom gate solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
Lowe's knows our great paint savings mean you can get the colors you want at prices you'll love. Right now, get 20% off 1-gallon cans and 5-gallon pails of Valspar Defense paint or cabinet stain. Shop now because it's the perfect time to maintain your deck and paint your outdoor spaces. Visit us in-store or online today because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 8/21. Selection varies by location. See store at Lowe's.com for details.
At Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, they're proud to be here for their neighbors while giving back to communities across the state throughout the year, every year. This month, they're honored to stand alongside 1,600 dedicated volunteers as they make this year's annual FedEx St. Jude Golf Tournament fundraiser a resounding success. Giving back to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, which helps treat and defeat childhood cancer, is a meaningful effort that is very close to their hearts. This year, their goal is to reach $3 million in donations for kids at St. Jude's, and they couldn't do it without the support of their amazing volunteers. To all the participants, thank you for being a part of this most important endeavor to lift up so many families across the state from right here in Memphis, Tennessee. To read more about Team Blue volunteers, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, Healthy Places, and other ways they're devoted to helping our communities, please visit bcbst.com.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment, not just to protect their valuable tools, but to protect their professional reputations. For pros, the WeatherGuard badge makes a statement about what drives them. It says, "Bring it on. Been there. Done that. We've got your back," without saying a word. And the folks at WeatherGuard, they're just as driven as the hardworking pros they serve. See what it means to be driven at weatherguard.com.
There are many real estate companies out there, but then there's Banyan Tree Realtors on the Tigerville Town Square. There are hands-on, family-owned boutique real estate companies whose agents have been offering exceptional attention to their clients for over 40 years. In an ever-changing world, Banyan Tree continues to maintain a small-town personal charm while providing a worldwide connection through its internet marketing presence. Personal service will never go out of style at Banyan Tree Realtors. Their agents are people you can trust, offering service you deserve. From residential homes to commercial properties, farmland, land lots, and historical houses, Banyan Tree has the expertise you can rely on. So if you're downsizing, upsizing, moving in, or moving on, give Banyan Tree Realtors a call today. Craig Smith and
10 seconds.
Smith and their agents are ready to serve you. Call today at 901-620-8920 or 901-359-2520.
Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56
Welcome back, everybody. Hour number 1 here on Sports 56 Mornings, the Thursday, August 15th, 2024 edition. Round 1 of the FedEx St. Jude Championship is underway. And we want to thank all our great sponsors. Our title sponsor, of course, Landers Ford. They've been with us for years. Our scoreboard sponsor is Sissy's Log Cabin. And, Eli, it's early. We're still looking for that first birdie.
Yeah, we got 4 guys who are all even. Justin Rose and Ben Griffin through 2. Will Zalatoris and Jake Knapp through 1.
Looks like Tom Kim and Cam Davis about to tee off at 7:50. Again, tandems all going off from the first hole. Our other great sponsors, First National Bank, Jason's Deli, Ronnie Grizzani's, Wade Incorporated, your North Mississippi John Deere dealer, Town Village Audubon Park, Banyan Tree Realtors, Wilson's Power Wash, DeSoto Honda, Jim's Place, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, Memphis Tourism, and the Memphis Sports Council. And again, a big shout out to all our terrific sponsors. So some Memphis basketball news yesterday. I think both Parth and Jason Munns had this story that Daniel Vieira Tuck will not play in 2024 for the Memphis Tigers. He will instead play for Overtime Elite, but his father tells them that he is committed for 2025 to play for Memphis. And the reason he's not playing this year was basically there was a screw-up with his transfer of academics, and he would not have qualified. So he's going to play in that and then be ready for Memphis. Always subject to change, but that leaves Penny with 10 scholarship players, a couple of walk-ons. And he was asked yesterday if the roster is now complete. He said, we'll see. You never know with Penny, but more than likely I think it is.
Yeah, the whole situation of Vieira Tuck, very weird, whatever the weird school thing he was going to, and he's been to a lot of them, apparently screwed up, and he was 1 credit short, and they haven't been able to get the school to respond to them, all that stuff. So he'll go to Overtime Elite and then try and get eligible and try and, I guess, theoretically join the Tigers next year. We'll see what happens.
It was a real school he went to, not one of those, not that fake school in Ohio or whatever that was.
Well, his
for
dad
football.
did say the school has disappeared, they won't respond, they can't get him.
Okay, maybe it was a fake school
because it's what's the name of it? But he's been to a lot of different places. It is because they said they're going to his dad said they're going to file a lawsuit or something, try and.
Oh, really?
Where is the name of the school? It is the Imagine Learning Excellence Academy.
The Imagine Learning Excellence Academy. That's where Tom Brady went, right?
It's in Arizona. And so...
Oh, it's not an online school. Okay. It's actually brick and mortar? The physical school? Okay.
But yeah, he said they are planning to take legal action against Imagine Learning Excellence Academy.
Well, from the NFL, J.J.
It's not actual learning excellence.
No, you're not actually learning.
It's just you're imagining learning excellence.
You think you're being taught, but you're not being taught.
Use your imagination. Pretend right now you are getting some excellent teaching, and then you're good to go.
Imagine that. From the NFL, we were talking yesterday about J.J. McCarthy, the rookie quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings out of Michigan, and the news was how we thought it would end up. Really bad. He will miss the entire season after knee surgery.
Yeah, that's terrible. I mean, I can't even imagine that. You get to this dream moment into the NFL, you play 1 preseason game, and now you're done for the year.
And again, it goes back to the whole argument, or at least discussion, about whether or not you should play your prized rookies or your prized veterans in any preseason game. While we know that guys are getting hurt left and right in practice or in controlled scrimmages or in those dual practices, they can get hurt walking out of their apartment or their homes. So there's no rhyme or reason, but there are some that will side on it'll be the cautious side and not play these guys at all. or put bubble wrap around them. And there's others that say, look, they got to get a little bit of real football action before the regular season. And sometimes injuries happen. We talk about the NBA or the college basketball injuries where the guy just collapses, his Achilles gives out, there's no contact injury. So I don't know what you do in this case. I don't know what I would do as a coach in 2024 with so much invested in these athletes, whether or not to play them in the preseason or not.
Well, rookies need to have, they got to get some action just to understand the NFL game. But veterans, no, I would not play any veterans in preseason games.
Well, eventually there is going to be an 18th game. And therefore, if there's an 18th game, they will take away another one of these wasted preseason games. So you'll get down to 2 weeks of preseason games, and then the two teams that play in Canton in the Hall of Fame game will have 3. And we'll have 18 regular season games. That is coming down the pike, no question. From college football, I don't know what's in the water with the SEC, but Missouri lost defensive end Darius Smith, the transfer from Georgia, who was battling for a starting job. Guy who played for Georgia, he's quality. Injures his knee in practice. He's out for the season.
Yeah, it's there seems to be a lot of this going around in the SEC, and Missouri, another one. Missouri has a chance to have a great year. Missouri is really, really good. That's a spot that they could use. They're trying to replace some guys who they lost at defensive end, so that's a big loss for them. But obviously, certainly, I don't think as big as some of the stuff we've seen, like with Texas losing a starting running back. But that's still a big, big loss for Missouri.
And going back to the NFL, one final note: there was a trade yesterday. If you guys missed it, the Patriots have traded pass rusher Matthew Judon. He goes to the Falcons for a third-round pick. That is a huge acquisition for the Atlanta Falcons. It just wasn't going to work out in New England.
Falcons are trying to make a massive jump this year and have a chance to do it.
There are a few teams that I'm keeping an eye on that could make that jump. Arizona being one, Atlanta being another, and the Chicago Bears, of course, where most people believe they will take a jump into prominence. I was watching Hard Knocks 2 nights ago, right? It comes out on Tuesday. I watched it when it came out. And you just look at those receivers on that team. Caleb Williams has some weapons to throw to. When you have DJ Moore, he had Terp. You have now Keenan Allen. You have Adunze, the rookie from Washington. You have Kmet. They have weapons to throw to. Caleb Williams does.
Mackenzie Hughes, Birdie's number 1.
Yes.
Finally have somebody in red numbers.
Your favorite country. He's from Canada.
Meanwhile, Max Gracerman of the Collapse.
Right.
Last week, double bogeys number 1.
No, he didn't.
So he...
he must have yanked that left into the water. Double bogey one?
He probably hit it out of bounds.
Hit it out of bounds right, yeah.
If he hit it out of bounds right, you talk about deja vu. That's could be a rough go for Gracerman. Hope he doesn't 4-putt in about 2 holes and have that repeat come up. But yeah, Max Gracerman not off to a good start.
No, not at all.
After his collapse last week, double bogey on 1. As again, round 1 underway, and our leaderboard's brought to you by Sissy's Log Cabin. This hour is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Go to BigGreenEgg.com for all the details on the best grill there is and the last grill you'll ever need to buy. That is the Big Green Egg.
We got a busy second hour. John Mackey will join us from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee. Kerry Miller from Bleacher Report on Major League Baseball. And then stay tuned. HG's back. Another year of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. That'll come your way from 9 to 10. We are broadcasting live from TPC Southwind. We're inside the hub just off the 18th fairway, bringing you wall-to-wall coverage of the FedEx St. Jude Championship. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Maybe
Like me, you're not a morning person. Maybe you, like me, like to sleep in. That's why Sunrise on Jefferson and Sunrise East on Poplar both serve breakfast until they close at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There's no law that says you can't have the freshest, tastiest, all-around bestest breakfast in Memphis for lunch. Just head to either Sunrise location and proudly order yourself some eggs, some signature house-made square biscuits, or maybe even throw in a Bloody Mary. It's your breakfast. Have it when you want. And, of course, have it at Sunrise.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Genesis Diamond's most extreme value on diamonds is coming to an end. You have until Sunday at 5 p.m. to get the price of a lifetime on a certified GIA diamond ring.
Response has been incredible. People have driven 4 hours to buy like a dealer buys. All GIA certified diamond rings are on sale. A full 20% discount off Genesis' amazing everyday value price.
Talking values you never thought possible. 1/2 carat to 20 carat diamonds. All the maximum values and all the most prestigious geometric.
Don't be surprised to see jewelry's foreigners and diamond dealers shopping alongside you.
Genesis has the largest jewelry diamond selection you've ever seen. Expression cuts, pear-shaped, emerald cuts.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does your favorite mixers. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent out to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff, just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, mainly 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
All 650 acquisition fee, $20,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE 794,066, MSRP 21,820, Telluride RG 543,666, MSRP 39,835, EV9 R602, 29,603, MSRP 61,035. Lease terms include all rebates and incentives and a PF 695, includes tax, title, license, registration, and fees. Must finance through Hyundai with approved credit, valid through 8/31/24. Dealer stock only.
Hey, Jeff Allen, what's up over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
I know what's down, Randy. Prices at Gossett Kia Mount Moriah. You looking to save? 41 MPG Highway in a 2024 Kia Forte LXS, $199 a month, $37.99 due at signing. I've got a 2024 Kia Telluride S front-wheel drive, $379 per month, $39.99 due at signing. And Randy, talk about saving big bucks. 304 EPA estimate range for $389 a month in a 2024 Kia EV9 Lite, $49.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease.
Plus the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. A little bit more volume over here in the last few minutes on 240, right when you come off 385 Billmore's Parkway here, passing Mount Moriah. Traffic's on the increase down. 51 out of Millington, still positive at the moment, but it's building on 40 westbound from, let's say, Germantown Parkway on 40 west, all the way up to Sycamore View Road. Weimer's Jewelry at 7525 Highway 64. They want you to know they are your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
We are off and rolling in round one of the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Got underway at 7:20 today with Justin Rose and Ben Griffin starting things off. Again, they're all going off in tandems, all from hole number one. Tee time starting at 7:20, as I mentioned, will go all the way to 1:15 with Emiliano Grillo and Victor Perez teeing off. We welcome you back to Sports 56 Mornings on this Thursday, August 15th, 2024. Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on location at TPC Southwind. We're inside the hub, which is just off the 18th fairway, and bringing you all-day coverage of the FedEx St. Jude Championship and all our great sponsors that we'll tell you all about throughout the show, throughout the day as well. Weather-wise, it is going to be a scorcher, folks, but again, we're used to it in August in Memphis. 76 currently, but it's going to get up to 96. They say the heat index could get into the 1-teens. Possibly a stray shower or thunderstorm is in the forecast, but doesn't mean that will come. So when you come out here, just act accordingly. Make sure you bring an umbrella. I think you can bring umbrellas out here to protect yourself, sunscreen, and all that good stuff to come watch the best golfers in the world. Second hour of the program is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. They are your family's jeweler. 4900 Poplar Avenue between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. They are your bridal, engagement, and anniversary jeweler headquarters. So whether you're looking for that beautiful engagement ring, wedding ring, personally designed wedding sets, or any of their other fine jewelry, including watches and bracelets, necklaces, earrings, pendants, gemstones. They also have one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has it for you. They can help you with the wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing is available at James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. We have been talking about the volunteers. We've been featuring the volunteers, and it's an annual thing because it is such an integral part of this golf tournament. We also have been talking a lot about one of our great sponsors, and that's Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, and we can't thank them enough for being a part of our broadcast here from TPC Southwind. And John Mackey is a big part of that. He's the vice president of marketing for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee. And, John, thank you for joining us. We talked to you last year on the phone because there was a big thunderstorm and you couldn't make it over, but now we got you in person.
No, I appreciate you guys having me. It's great to be here in person with you. And as you said, last year we had the storms rolling in, so we went to a plan B and did it by phone. So honored to be here with you guys today, and appreciate you having me.
Let me ask you right off the bat, against something we talked about last year, why is Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee involved with the volunteers? Why did they pick the volunteers, and why is it so important, and especially this particular tournament?
Yeah, so we're Blue Cross Blue Shield, Tennessee, so we're across the entire state. We like to really give back to the communities that we live and work in. And so a few years ago, as you know, the tournament was having some troubles with Stanford Financial coming off their partnership. And the tournament, candidly, was kind of wondering whether they could continue. And so we looked at it as a company and said, what can we do? It's too vital to Memphis. It's too vital to the community, too vital to St. Jude for anything to happen in this tournament. So we met over in the clubhouse one day. It was Jack Simmons, the late Phil Cannon, who we all love, Daryl Smith, myself, and Henry Smith, also from Blue Cross. And we just kind of kicked around some ideas of what can we do as a company to support the tournament, and let's keep this thing going. And we threw around a bunch of different ideas, and at one point, I don't know who said it, let's give credit to Phil. He said, how about the volunteers? And so we looked at that, and we said, that really fits into our core mission as a company, giving back. And the volunteers, there's between 1,400 and 1,700 of them on any given year. And what they give back to this tournament, they donate their vacation time and come out and do this. As you said, 114-degree heat index today. And so we thought that would be a great thing to do. So we agreed for the first year to just step in and underwrite the cost of the volunteers. Their uniforms, their food, all the things that go into it. And we just said, let's see how that goes. And I can tell you that it was so rewarding for us in that first year to do that. And so we just, at the end of that first year, stopped and we said, let's do this long term. Let's make this a long-term commitment. And so that's how it all started.
So talk a little bit like what exactly you all do for the volunteers.
Okay. So we provide all of their uniforms, the hats, the shirts that you see. But, they have the volunteer tent over there off the 10th fairway. And so what we do every day is we supply all the breakfast and lunches for them throughout the day. We give them obviously an air-conditioned place, all the drinks and everything. We provide massage chairs for them so they can go in the back and get a little 15-minute back massage in between their shifts. And so that's what we do for them throughout the day.
But that, I mean, and that's obviously, as I said, for them, that's awesome because when you're out doing this stuff, because a lot of again, when you're not getting paid, you're standing out there to heat everything else. To have that opportunity to do that, and because I think it's like some tournaments, like you have to pay to be a volunteer,
I've
stuff
done
like that.
Yes,
like
I've done that.
Things like that, so not have to worry about that type of stuff.
Yeah, and one of the neat things about that was, to your point, is we didn't want the volunteers who were volunteering their time to have to pay for anything. And so that was all part of it. But, again, we wanted them to have a comfortable place to go, so we constructed the tent, air-conditioned, and everything like that for them. And then it's really evolved over time on how we've done things. And the biggest thing was after year one, as I mentioned, we sat down and said, okay, that was success. We're in long-term. What else can we do? Mm-hmm. And that's where we came up with the Hours for St. Jude program. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but we just kind of, again, the same group that came up with this concept went up, stepped in the clubhouse again and said, what can we do? And we said, well, look, we have 1,400 volunteers. What if each one of them called 10 buddies and got them to give $10 to St. Jude? And we'll call it the Hours for St. Jude program. We'll recognize those that raise the most money. They get to wear a different color hat, different color shirt. We give them some prizes and awards. We said, let's put this together and let's see how it goes. And we were optimistic. It was 10 years ago. 2014 was the first year we rolled out the Hours for St. Jude program. And I can say that we just passed the $3 million mark.
Wow.
And that is a complete total credit to the volunteers. Blue Cross didn't do anything with that other than, obviously sponsoring them. But we went to the volunteers and said, what do you guys think? They embraced it. I think it shows their love and compassion for St. Jude and the kids there. And as I said, we just hit the $3 million mark in 10 years. So that's just one of the rewarding things that we've seen. And a lot of other tournaments across the country have taken this concept and done it there. So it's good to see it, continuing on.
Well, you beat me to the punch because I was going to say, when you talked about the day with Phil and with all the rest of the folks that gathered together to come up with ideas that involve Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, that it's easy to hitch your wagon to an event where the beneficiary is St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. It makes it a little bit easier for you to say, yeah, count me in.
Absolutely, it does. And we've been fortunate to go over there to the hospital. I'm sure you guys have done that and the impact that has. The other interesting thing for us is, as this partnership has grown now, I think we're in our 11th or 12th year of doing the volunteers, the enthusiasm that we've seen from our Blue Cross employees to come out here and volunteer and to work. We do a family zone where people who are out here with small children, they can go in there. If they need to change diapers or whatever, we have toys and games for kids to play in. Gets them out of the heat too. And we've been able to evolve and do other things like that. We do the cooling zones throughout the course where it's the benches that are air conditioned you can sit on. You can stop in and get sunscreen and lip balm and whatever you might need, water. And so those are just things that it's been rewarding for me to see our employees embrace. And we have about 400 employees here in Memphis embrace the tournament as well and come out and volunteer their time for St. Jude.
Wow, 400 employees just in Memphis. How many do you have in the state?
We have close to 6,000 in the state of Tennessee.
Wow. One of the great things about because we had one of the volunteers who was in her third year, but then you also got some of these volunteers who have been here seemingly forever. Like it's just that's one of the great things about it. Like these volunteers love doing it, and year after year, like some have been doing it for 20, 30 years, they keep coming back.
We do a volunteer kickoff meeting usually February or March, and it's down at St. Jude in the Domino Center. And I think this year we had 2 that had gone over 50 years that we recognized.
50 years?
I said 50 years of volunteers. And so, but yeah, it runs from first timers all the way up through 50 plus. And so again, to see their dedication is rewarding for me. And when I'm out here this week and I'm walking around, and I'll go spend a lot of time over in the volunteer tent just talking to it, and I've developed a lot of great friendships. But I'm always amazed. It happened yesterday during the Pro-Am. A volunteer stopped me and they just said, hey, thank you. And I was like, No, the thanks is for you.
Right.
Yeah.
The thanks is for you, not for us. We're happy to do what we do, but thank you for volunteering your time and coming out here and doing this every year.
Did you play in the Pro-Am?
I did.
Okay. How's your golf game? Let's talk turkey
it
here.
Was okay. We did okay. Yeah, so
who was your pro?
We played with Jordan Spieth and Corey Connors, and they were both fantastic guys, and a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
You have any great stories from the past playing in this? I assume you've played in other Pro-Ams?
I've been fortunate to play probably, I guess, now 10 or 11 years in this, and I'll say probably I've developed some good friendships. Scott Stallings, who played here for a number of years, we developed a great friendship where we stay in touch. We help him on his junior golf event in the state of Tennessee.
Yeah, he's from Knoxville, right?
He's from Knoxville, so local guy. Just through that, developing the friendships. I'm fortunate this third year I played with Jordan, and I'll say when you just walk the course with him and his caddy, Michael Greller, and just watch him interact, everybody's going to want his autograph. He goes over and takes pictures and autographs, and just the interaction makes you just pull for all these guys. Corey Connors was the same way yesterday. We tee off 10, we get down there, and he just walks up and starts reading all of our putts. We didn't ask him to. I was like, how gracious is that? He's in there and doing this for us. And so it's been that way with everybody that I've had the privilege of playing with. And so those are just fun, rewarding times to see. And then you pull for them the rest of the year when you see them playing.
Well, and Jordan Spieth just announced with his foundation and just did a big donation to St. Jude and is partnering with St. Jude. So he's certainly very much involved with St. Jude and now with this tournament.
Yeah, and it's the players all recognize the importance of St. Jude and what it means to them. I know many of them go down to the hospital and see it. The other interesting thing is how much they like this course. They all say it's it is one of the most underrated courses that they play on tour. From the difficulty standpoint, they all love it. It's always well conditioned. And they really all have positive things to say about the tournament, the staff led by Joe and his team, and everything that they do as well.
What about, John, just Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee? What do people need to know about the organization?
Again, we've been around for almost 80 years. We're based in Chattanooga, but we have offices in Knoxville, Nashville, Memphis, Jackson. We're all over. We have employees spread all over the state. We provide health care coverage from individual policies all the way up through major corporate accounts, like the state of Tennessee, for instance. We insure them. What we want to do is, though, be there for that person and the programs that we offer, the things that we do, not only to offer health coverage, but all the other things around just in promoting healthy lifestyles. We've started to really focus a lot with our foundation on doing healthy parks across the state. And what we do is we go into a community of need, and we find a park. We've done 2 here in Memphis. David Carnes in Whitehaven was one of them. And we went in there and we totally redid the park. For David Carnes, for instance, we invested $6 million in the park. And it's for the neighborhood. And then we set up an annuity that continues to maintain the park. But we're doing those in communities all across the state as a way to get people out and involved. In the David Carnes, if you ever get a chance to go, there's water fountains and water parks and tracks and everything for people to do, swing sets. So really promoting the communities to get out and go to it. And I've been to many of the openings, and it's really rewarding to see the pride and the joy that the communities have in those parks. And so that's something that we've really been focused on as a company.
That's great. That's absolutely fabulous. My eyes kind of popped out of my head when you said $6 million for a park. I'm like, wow, that must be some park. That would be Disney World down in Whitehaven. Well, we love having you on. And hopefully we get to do it again next year. And we love having Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee on as one of our sponsors of our golf coverage. So, John, we can't thank you enough for being with us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, guys.
Really appreciate it. That's John Mackey. He's the director or the vice president of marketing for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee. Magnificent group of people, and we thank them again for being a part of our programming here at TPC Southwind. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. All right. What's the leaderboard looking like?
Ben Griffin and Will Zalatoris both at 1 under par. By the way, Max Gracerman, his double bogey on 1, did not include a penalty stroke. He drove it in the bunker. Must not have had a good lie, or he may have hit the lip. I don't know. Because he didn't hit it. He hit it into the rough out of the bunker, well short of the green. Then could only advance it so far out of the rough out here, which is brutal. Then finally got it onto the green and 2-putted for a nice smooth 6 to get his tournament started.
Again, your scoreboard update is brought to you by Sissy's Log Cabin, our title sponsor, Landers Ford, and all our other great sponsors, including Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, Memphis Tourism and the Memphis Sports Council, Jim's Place, DeSoto Honda, Wilson's Power Wash, Banyan Tree Realtors, Town Village Audubon Park, Ronnie Grizzani's, Wade Incorporated, your North Mississippi John Deere dealer, Jason's Deli, and First National Bank.
Up next, Stephen Yeager and Thomas Dietrich will be going off at 8:20, so they're just about to get their first round underway. Then you got Cameron Young and Tommy Fleetwood right behind them. Tommy Fleetwood, I expect to play very well this week. I think he could be up there contending.
I think he'll play well. He always does, but I don't think he'll win because he never does. It's just one of those weird things. I don't know if Tommy Fleetwood, I shouldn't say this, but
I only need him to finish in the top 10, so that's fine.
Okay, he's got a bet. Bet. Here's the thing. Tommy Fleetwood seems like such a cool dude. I don't know if he has the killer instinct. Have a little edge to you. I think Tommy is, he's there every time, but doesn't complete the deal. So I couldn't. And Russell Henley's like that as well. I'm not saying they haven't won in their lives, but normally they finish really high in every event they play in. The majors as well. Henley's always there. He's a guy probably most of you listening to me say that don't even know who he is. And he's a guy who I would definitely pick him for a top 10. But for a win, no. But I don't think it's going to be the big names. I don't think it's going to be Schauffele. I don't think it's going to be Scheffler. I don't think it's going to be Rory. I really didn't even get down and dirty to pick somebody. But I probably would lean toward somebody not as big a name as those three, as I mentioned. They're the biggest names out here. They're 1, 2, and 3 in the FedEx Cup points. And every guest we've had so far has talked about basically you can't count out Scheffler. You can't count out Scheffler when he's down 5 strokes after 3 rounds.
Yeah, the Scheffler, it's a course that sets up well for him as a ball striker, but he does not have a good track record here, so we'll see what wins out.
All right.
But I would be surprised if Scotty Scheffler isn't contending on Sunday. Maybe he doesn't win it, but I would be surprised if he's not at least up there, in the top 10 on Sunday with a chance to win it.
When we come back, we're going to talk Major League Baseball. Kerry Miller from Bleacher Report joins us, as he does each and every Thursday during this time slot. Another one of our terrific sponsors is Shoot 360 Memphis. We've been talking about them for several months now. It's a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification, provides instant objective feedback with hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. The 50,000-square-foot facility in Cordova is open. I was there a couple of weeks ago. Absolutely fantastic. They have 2 NBA regulation-sized courts, 3 high school-sized courts, 4 shooting bays with Shoot 360 technology. And you can become a member and do so on a monthly basis, so you're not tied down with some long-term contract. And you can become a member at both their locations, Cordova and Collierville. So whether you're an aspiring young talent, NBA player, looking for a unique workout, all skill levels are welcome at Shoot 360 Memphis to learn proper shooting and passing techniques, improve fundamentals, and gain a competitive edge while having a lot of fun. They have great instructors there, including a former Grizzly assistant coach in Scott Adebato. Just good people to learn from and to become a better shooter and a better all-around basketball player. Shoot 360 Memphis, now in Cordova and Collierville. Call them today. Set up a tour at 901-779-3176. That's 901-779-3176. Or go online to sign up at Shoot 360 Memphis. The future of basketball training is here. It is Shoot 360 Memphis. We'll take a break. Come back with more from TPC Southwind. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
At Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, they're proud to give back to communities across the state. Giving back to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, which helps treat and defeat childhood cancer, is a meaningful effort that is very close to their hearts. They're honored to stand alongside 1,600 dedicated volunteers and tournament participants as they make this year's annual FedEx St. Jude Golf Tournament fundraiser a resounding success right here in Memphis, Tennessee. To read more about how Blue Cross Blue Shield helps communities, please visit bcdst.com.
Sunrise Super Summer Sale is on fire at Sunrise Buick GMC at Wolf Chase. You'll find sizzling hot deals like a new 24 Buick Envista and $2 grand off MSRP, or choose a new 24 Buick Encore GX and up to $7 grand off MSRP with qualifying rebates. Sunrise Buick GMC at Wolf Chase. Make it fun buying a car.
Price does not include licensing costs, registration fees, taxes, and dealer doc fee of $899.50, which are to be paid by the consumer. Envista stock number RB168330, MSRP $25,880, dealer discount $2,000. Encore stock number RB217502, MSRP $30,405, dealer discount $4,000. Purchase allowance $3,000. Must currently own a non-GM vehicle. Expires 9/3/24.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
Save on O'Reilly Brake Parts Cleaner. Get 2 cans of O'Reilly Brake Parts Cleaner for just $8. Valid in-store only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Still sorting out a couple of earlier accidents. It remains a little bit crowded there coming off that ramp from Austin Peay Highway getting onto I-40. 51 southbound out of Millington has been in pretty decent shape. Let's keep up the good work there. Down 51, and especially coming through Woodstock. It's busy but moving for the most part. Right when you come off the interstate there onto Sam Cooper in that construction zone there on Sam Cooper. Hadn't been that bad the last couple of days. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:25 the time. Hour 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings. Broadcasting live from TPC Southwind. We're inside the hub just off the 18th fairway. It's round 1 of the FedEx St. Jude Championship. But it's not all golf each and every day on all our shows. We're talking about everything that's going on in the world of sports. And I think you know by now, every Thursday during the Major League Baseball season, we talk with Kerry Miller. Here's Kerry Miller from Bleacher Report. Read all his terrific stories there at Bleacher Report. Follow him on Twitter at Carrance James and catch him every Thursday talking Major League Baseball with us. Good morning, Kerry.
Hey, Greg. How's it going?
Going well. Not as well as Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge got pissed yesterday because they walked Juan Soto and got to him, and he blasts his 300th home run. By the way, I can understand walking Soto as hot as he was. Hit his 4th home run in 2 games yesterday. But Aaron Judge hits his 300th and does so in his 955th game. So he is the fastest, Kerry, to 300 home runs in the history of the game.
Yeah, fastest by kind of a wide margin, too.
Yes.
At least in terms of plate appearances. Like, I think it's like 400, which was like Babe Ruth and stuff. Like, it was crazy, but you know, Mike Trout, when he hit his 300th, was like 3.5 years younger. So we don't expect Judge to break Bonds' all-time record, which is a shame. You know, he started his career 24, has dealt with the injuries and all that. But, yes, what he's done when healthy, I think we all know, is just insane. He's one of the best sluggers we've ever seen. And usually when guys sign these, you know, 10-year contracts when they're 30 years old, you worry that they're going to fall apart. But I feel like he's going to hold up for the majority of that deal. We also felt the same about Giancarlo Stanton, and we've seen him not be quite the same. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's ridiculous what that Judge and Soto combo has done. I think you're reaching the point where you might as well intentionally walk both of them every time through the lineup and live through the consequences.
How old is Judge now?
I think he turned 32 in April. So
okay,
pains me to say that's old, but
no, in baseball terms it is, but it's a little older than I thought he was. I thought he was about 30, so 32. But I still believe this. We talked about this last year on the show. I remember asking you about the face of baseball. Mm-hmm. And baseball's had a tough time, really, in promoting their individual stars. I mean, there's a lot of people that wouldn't be able to point Mike Trout out in a lineup. And Mike Trout's one of the greatest players in the history of the game. But I said last year, and I'll stick to it, even though we're seeing things that we've never seen before in what Shohei Ohtani brings to the table. We'll get back to pitching next year. But Aaron Judge is the face of baseball. I believe he's the face of baseball. He's an American. I think he is the poster boy for baseball. Do you agree or disagree?
I think internationally, if you include the whole world, it's definitely Ohtani, but Judge is 2 on that list and probably is number 1 within America, just because of the home runs that he hits, and does have that Yankee star power going for him, all that.
Right.
I do think it's crazy on Ohtani that as much as we talk about him, like every time I bring up Ohtani, I get yelled at, like, "Oh, shut up about Shohei. That's all you talk about." How are we not talking every day about the fact that he might go 50-50 this season? He's got 37 home runs and 35 stolen bases, and so all we really talk about are the mammoth home runs. It's insane what he's doing.
You mentioned, guys that get the deal like Aaron Judge, at that advanced age. With what Soto's doing and with his age, what kind of deal do you think we're going to see for Juan Soto in the offseason?
Yeah, it's going to be more, I think, in present-day value than Ohtani's. And it's not going to be a $700 million unless it is that crazy deferred again. But, yeah, he's 25. He turned down a 15-year, $440 million, at least reportedly, from the Nationals 2 years ago. You have to assume he's going to get something like 15 for 500, 520. I don't know. It's going to dwarf Ohtani's present-day value, I think.
I mean, because he is amazing, man. That dude, I mean, for a guy in today's baseball to do what he hit for the power, but also walk more than you strike out, and at 25 years old, man, it's going to be interesting. Like, what teams do you think realistically are in the market, and do you believe he ends up back with the Yankees?
It feels like it's going to be the 2 New York teams, right? I can't see the Dodgers getting involved there just with all the money they already have tied up. Now, granted, they're the Dodgers; they can find that money if they need to. But these top spending teams already have a lot of money committed long term. Yankees do too, right? Garrett Cole has a lot of money lined up. They're still paying Stanton out the wazoo. Obviously, Judge's contract is up there as well. So I feel like it's probably going to be the Mets if it comes down to just a back and forth bidding war of who's willing to go the highest. Probably Steve Cohen and the Mets, but I'd love to see him stay with the Yankees. I mean, I'd hate to see him stay with the Yankees, but also love to see him stay with the Yankees. It'd be fun to watch Judge and Soto together for the next 8-9 years.
What's left on Stanton's contract?
I'm not sure. 2 or 3 years, and maybe even a little bit more. It was like a 13-year deal he signed in 2013, I think. So, yeah, 2 or 3 years left.
See, I think I said yesterday, I think it's going to happen. He's going to be back in New York. But, I mean, your point about $520, what they're still paying Stanton, what they're paying Judge. I mean, even the Yankees may run out of money. It seems like it's impossible, but the Yankees and the Dodgers may eventually get to their limit. So, I don't know. I mean, Soto it makes sense for him to be with the Yankees, but your point about the Mets in New York, where Cohen can certainly open up the bank account, I can see that happening as well. All right, the Padres are on fire. 19-3 in their last 20 games. How seriously do we need to be looking?
22 games.
What's that?
Can be 19-3 in their last 20.
22 is what I said. Oh, I said 20? I meant 22. I'm looking right at 22. 19-3 in their last 22. How seriously do we need to be looking at the Padres for the postseason? Not only making it the postseason, but doing damage.
Yeah, I mean, they could still overtake the Dodgers in the West. What's crazy is, as good as the Padres have been, they've lost ground to the Diamondbacks. They're now tied in a wild card standings. I think those two teams are combined like 39-6 since the trade or the All-Star break. It's ridiculous what that pair of teams is doing. And they just got Joe Musgrove back. Fernando Tatis Jr. is presumably coming back at some point. We've yet to get any sort of definitive timeline on his return from that stress reaction in his femur. But Xander Bogaerts was kind of terrible early in the season. Now he's batting like 370 since he came back. Machado's hitting reasonably well. Hassan Kim is permanently underrated, but providing a ton of value. I mean, with Musgrove back, I think they now have, if he can get back to what he used to be, easily a top 10 rotation, easily one of the 10 best offenses, and will be top 5 if they get Tatis back. So I think they're very much a contender, and I think the Diamondbacks are as well. I think those are the two best teams in baseball right now, not in terms of the standings, but in terms of who I would least want to face in a best-of-7 series if I had to, play that NLCS today.
Meanwhile, as that race continues to get tighter and tighter, is the NL Central done? Are the Cardinals toast?
Probably. I mean, 8.5 is too much at this point, and I do think if you had told me 4.5 months ago the widest division margin in mid-August would belong to the Brewers, I would have asked you if you had any clue what they were up to this offseason, because that makes no sense, but here they are somehow just incredibly. But yeah, I mean, the Cardinals, right, all season long, their run differential was like, Miami Marlins of last season territory. It's like, how are you continuing to win games while getting outscored all the time? So it kind of felt like this was going to come, even though it is the Cardinals, and they always seem to find a way to be incredible after the All-Star break. I just haven't been able to do it this season. I don't think they have the pitching to do it either. So they're probably done, but who knows? I mean, we've still got about a quarter of the season left.
And then at the trade deadline, the Pirates actually made a couple of moves to bring in guys. Like, oh, yeah, look at this. The Pirates are actually trying to do something. Like, they're going to go for it. And now they've lost 10 in a row. They're terrible. Yeah. It doesn't matter what the Pirates do. They just are going to end up being terrible at the end.
Yeah, I think that's probably for the best for them. Now they can shut down Paul Skeens in a few weeks, and nobody's going to cry foul or anything. So that's probably good. They don't have to rush back Jared Jones either. I mean, he was great early in the year. He's dealing with a lat strain. I think this is, the best for them long term. I don't think Pirates fans they're used to tuning into Steelers preseason games by this point in the year anyway.
Although the person who just bought the Paul Skeens Rookie of the Year bet for $28,000, they might complain if they shut him down too early.
Yeah, that would not be good. I didn't see that story, but it's still a crowded race, right? We kind of have taken for granted how good Shoto Imanaga was all season. I mean, he had 2 really bad starts. Outside of that, his ERA is below 2. Jackson Merrill has been unbelievable for the Padres. He could still win that thing. So, yeah, that'd be tough if Skeens does get shut down.
Yeah, because it's a bet that pays $51,000, but the guy who had it sold it for $28,000. So he must think they're shutting him down, and he's getting out of it. And obviously, the investor's hoping that he's still going to win it, and he's going to get his, $51,000. So he'll profit $23,000 out of it.
Yeah,
I just think his popularity, unless they you're right, completely shut him down. I just think his popularity, his performance as well, but his popularity will take him over the top. I still think he'll win the National League Rookie of the Year award. I believe anyway.
I agree. I think he's going to win it, and that is crazy to spend $28,000 on something like it, but the return on investment is a whole lot better than you're going to do actually placing that bet with the book right now.
That's true.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's
true. So yeah,
I don't even know if the NL Rookie of the Year is still available. They may have brought it back, but for a while they shut it down entirely because it was that over.
Yeah, I went with what Merrill's doing. I don't know what the current odds are. I'll have to see if I can find it. But yeah, for a while there, it looked like Heck, they were talking about Skeens possibly in the Cy Young Award. Like, it was more like, could he win Cy Young Award? The Rookie of the Year was that foregone conclusion at that point.
Jackson Merrill, that was he was one of the guys, Eli. Remember the bet I made where I bet 10 different guys did a home run the one day, and none of them did? One of them was Jackson Merrill. The next day, all 10 of the guys that I bet on the Saturday, Gary, they all hit home runs on the Sunday, and my bank account was zero, so I didn't bet anything. Merrill hit a home run that day, and I think he's hit a home run every day. I mean, every time I look at a box score, Jackson Merrill has a home run, and the guy from the Marlins, Berger, is that his name? That guy has a home run every game.
Skeens right now is a minus 170. Jackson Merrill's plus 115.
Wow, that's actually
if they shut Skeens down and and Merrill continues to do what he's doing, Merrill will win it.
Wow, that's crazy. Kerry Miller joining us from Bleacher Report. He is on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest lines. All right, going back to the National League West, you talked about the Padres and how hot they are, 19-3 in their last 22, 2.5 behind the Dodgers. But here comes Arizona. They, like the Padres, 9-1 in their last 10. Now, they've been okay this year earlier in the season. They weren't a disaster like it was for Texas, the two teams that battled last year in the World Series. But they are red hot now. What about Arizona? What has turned things around to make them now really formidable?
I mean, they've been scoring like crazy all season long. They set that standard opening day. They had like that 14-run inning against the Rockies, I think, in the first game of the season. They haven't really let up at all, leading the majors, mostly with guys that don't get talked about, right? I saw something that they're talking about, like, Ohtani might not win MVP after all. It's going to be close. I was like, we mean Marcell Ozuna, or is Paul Skeens in the MVP conversation? No, they were talking about Ketel Marte, and it's legitimate. Like, he's got like a 7 WAR. I mean, and he plays great defense. He's been incredible for them. And what's crazy is lately they've been doing it without some of their stars, right? Christian Walker's been out with an oblique. Gabby Moreno's out. I don't remember what his injury is, but he's going to be out for a little bit longer. But they finally have their rotation, right? They went out and got Eduardo Rodriguez in December. They signed Jordan Montgomery really late in the offseason, adding them to Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly. We thought this might be the best rotation in baseball, and we were just now seeing it for the first time, and they were already heating up. So it feels like they're a very real contender. If those 4 pitchers are still healthy heading into October, I think they won't become the betting favorite, but they might feel like the favorite. That's how good they've been lately.
Yeah, that whole race in the West is going to be crazy, and then you assume all 3 of them are going to be in the postseason. Like, that's going to be that. If the Padres continue that, Diamondbacks continue, and you know the Dodgers are just the Dodgers. The Dodgers just, if they could, Walker Buehler back again, but didn't pitch well. Do you think, like, is Walker Buehler, do you think ever going to be really Walker Buehler again?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know he was out for 2 years and recovered from the Tommy John, and then I think he took a comebacker off his hip and was dealing with inflammation. It's just, one thing after another with the Dodgers, right? To bring him back, they had to lose River Ryan, who had like a 1.33 ERA through 4 starts. Oh, yeah, time for Tommy John surgery for him. I mean, it's just constant what they're dealing with. But, again, if their rotation is healthy, right, same with the Diamondbacks. You got if Glasnow is able to – he's already exceeded his career total for innings in a season. So we'll see if he's able to stick around into October. But if he's good, Kershaw's back. Yamamoto's working his way back, so he's going to pitch a simulated game, I think, this weekend. Jack Flaherty's been great. If Buehler can do anything for them, that'd be great. And now they got Betts is back. Muncy's coming. Tommy Edmonds coming.
Right.
It kind of feels like the Dodgers just went to sleep through July knowing that they were going to be healthy in September and just kind of run away with this thing. But to your point about the NL West, if the season ended right now, I guess the Phillies, are they still? No, they're now a half game behind the Dodgers. So it would be the Padres versus the Diamondbacks in the 4-5 game, and then the winner, Padres and Diamondbacks, and then the winner would face the 1 seed Dodgers. So it would just be an entirely NL West half of the NL bracket.
Well, survive the NL West and then try and take everybody else out.
Well, there's about 40 games left, roughly 40 games. And if it does continue where Arizona and the Padres just continue to play the way they're playing, we know the Dodgers are going to. You're right. All three are in. One will win the West, more than likely the Dodgers, and then the Arizona and San Diego will be two of the three wild cards. Then, in your opinion, does it come down, Kerry, in the National League to the third wild card? It's either the Braves or the Mets?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're at that point, which is crazy because, just 2 weeks ago at the deadline, it felt like there were 9 teams in the running for that third spot. Now it's really just those two. I mean, the Cardinals are, I think, 4.5 back, tied with the Giants and Reds, and the Cubs have fallen off. Certainly the Pirates are gone at this point. So, yeah, it's probably going to be Braves or Mets. There's still time for somebody to turn it around, but not looking good, especially with the Braves just taking 3 in a row from the Giants. I feel like that kind of killed whatever drama there was left for a multi-team race.
But isn't it crazy that a couple of months ago we were talking about, well, the Mets, they'll probably be sellers. Maybe they'll get rid of Alonso. The Mets were struggling early in the year. They were pathetic early in the year. And here's Atlanta. Injury after injury after injury sustained, hanging in there. I mean, just the thought before the season started of the Braves not being in the postseason was crazy. And especially that the Mets, after the season, the way they started out the season, could overtake them. That was not even in the vocabulary of anybody. And now it's a possibility. I still think the Braves will end up holding them off. Maybe they'll get a little healthier. But the Mets have made it interesting at least. So we'll see how that turns out. Of course, Kerry will have you covered. Major League Baseball, Bleacher Report. Check out all his great stories. Follow him on Twitter at Carrance James and catch him every Thursday throughout the Major League Baseball season talking with us here on Sports 56 Mornings. Kerry, have a great week. Thank you as always.
Hey, you too. Take care, guys.
You too.
Folks, if you've got a move coming up, or maybe you've got a new home, maybe a new office space, whether it be across town or across country, wherever you're moving, you want to make sure you get the professionals to do it for you, to help you with that. Don't try and do it yourself. Don't ask your lazy friends to help you because, let's be honest, they don't care. They don't care that you're giving them a little bit of free pizza and a beer or two. They don't care about your belongings. But the professionals at Black Tie Moving, they're going to take really good care of your belongings and make sure they get where they're going without any issue whatsoever. Give them a call at Black Tie at 901-316-6196. Or you can go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. Talk to the folks at Black Tie. They'll come up with a plan working with you to fit your needs and your budget, and they'll give you a no-obligation quote up front so you know exactly what it's going to cost. You want the professionals to do it for you. Again, it takes a lot of that stress, a lot of worry out of the entire moving process. They also have a moving concierge available 24/7 to answer any questions that you might have that come up during the process. They'll do as little or as much, really, as you want. Whatever your needs are, again, they're going to come up with that plan working with you to fit those needs of exactly what you're looking for out of them. So get the professionals on your side. Black Tie Moving, 901-316-6196. We continue with more from TPC Southwind as the FedEx St. Jude Championship Round 1 is underway right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Quirky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom gate solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
When you were young,
ice train truck to roll by. Now, you just can't wait for the Harbor Freight parking lot sale to roll around. And it'll be here this weekend. Maybe you're looking to fill up that tool chest. Maybe you're looking for a tool chest to fill up. You'll save money either way. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until August 18th, 2024. While supplies last. Limitations apply.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Genuine diamonds, baby.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:50 the time. Final segment here in hour number 2. Broadcasting live from TPC Southwind. We're inside the hub, which is just off the 18th fairway. Round 1 action underway at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Eli, how about a Sissy's Log Cabin leaderboard update?
Well, we do have a solo leader now. Tom Kim has got it to 2 under par, and he is the leader. Not a whole lot birdies being made out there right now. Tom Kim, 2 under par through 4 holes. He is in first place. Ben Griffin, Will Zalatoris, and Mackenzie Hughes all at 1 under par on their rounds. First groups of the day through 6 holes. So still a long, long way to go, obviously, but not. And it's interesting because it's not real windy or anything. There's a little bit of a breeze, but not much out there. But these guys are not making a whole lot of birdies so far.
The greens should be a little soft, should they not, after the rain yesterday? Not as baked as they will be later on in the week into the weekend, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much rain they ended up getting out here. I mean, we didn't get a whole lot of rain most of the places, so, and as dry as it's been, I don't know. But I mean, certainly a little bit softer, but I don't think much of an impact there compared to normal.
Next group to go off would be 8:55, so 5 minutes from now, Billy Horschel, Davis Thompson, and then the ever-popular Justin Thomas at 9:05, along with Brian Harmon, who was the 2023 Open champion. But Justin Thomas, I'm sure he has a lot of folks here rooting for him just to find that game once again. He's had a pretty solid year, but really a breakthrough in Memphis to win here would be fantastic.
Oh yeah, he's had a nice bounce back year, certainly from where he was last year, and see if last year Ricky Fowler had a nice bounce back year. Then this year it didn't happen for him, so we'll see if Justin Thomas is able to continue it into next year. But he would certainly be a very popular winner if he were able to win here in Memphis.
So there was a story yesterday that I had teased and that we didn't get to. I just completely forgot about it. It's not a major story, but it's very interesting. I was watching, as you were, the United States in the summer games playing. I don't know if there was the semifinals, if he was there, but I know he was there at the championship game when the United States knocked off France. It was Stephon Marbury. Did you see him? Did you notice him? Right there, like near Carmelo Anthony. I looked and I go, I think that's Marbury, Starbury as they like to call him, right?
I did not.
Okay. Well, I noticed him, but I also noticed that, like, when they were celebrating, he wasn't real, like, jumping around and all that. Ends up being that apparently there's some beef with Marbury and James because James avoided him when he came over and celebrated with Melo and some others. Zach, do you know what I'm talking about here? Have you been following this whole Marbury, LeBron James beef? Zach? Apparently not. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm aware of it.
Okay. So there's a beef going on. So Marbury comes out and says, as I see Harold Grader joining us here, as we get the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour, cranked up for another season. But Marbury, and I'm not sure if you caught this, Zach, he comes out and he says, shouldn't even be mentioned in the same breath as MJ, talking about LeBron. Now, is that because LeBron avoided him, gave him the cold shoulder? There's some kind of beef. I don't know if there's any history between the two. But then he comes out on the heels of LeBron James being named the most valuable player of the Olympics for basketball, for men's basketball, leading his team to the gold medal. I think the timing is pretty bad there from Marbury. He's coming out and saying, shouldn't even be mentioned in the same breath as MJ. So something's there. I don't know what it was. I wasn't sure if you guys knew or heard or read about. But I'm thinking to myself, you talk about the bad timing award, not only because what LeBron did in helping the United States win the gold, but you should be looking at it the other way. For those like myself who are MJ guys, I should be looking at it, and I think I am looking at it a little bit closer now, where it's certainly not crazy to say LeBron's the greatest player of all time. But for old school guys like me, we're MJ guys. Most of us out there, you know who you are, you're MJ guy. But the conversation now should be, well, it is really tight. Really tight. Not shouldn't even be mentioned in the same breath. What? That's ludicrous. Unless it was tongue in cheek. I don't know the context of that. I just know the quote.
I would just say consider the source. It's Stephon Marbury. Like who?
Yeah, but I don't know too much about history and recent history and relationship or lack thereof with LeBron. It's just, to me, I don't know. It's just very, very strange to say something like that unless you're trying to just irk somebody into responding. In this case, LeBron or LeBron's followers or anybody else associated with LeBron. Just a very weird thing. But I did notice him right there in the high rent district on the front row watching the United States, at least in that championship game. He may have watched them as well from that vantage point in the semis versus Serbia. I don't remember if I saw him there. Couple of headlines again, if you missed it, as we get ready to switch gears and talk football. Obviously, we're here at the FedEx St. Jude Championship and very happy to be out here. If you missed it from yesterday, Daniel Vieira Tuck will not be playing for the University of Memphis this year. He will instead play for Overtime Elite, but the expectation is, as long as he is able to qualify grade-wise, he will be a part of the 2025 team. At least that's what his father said. So you're looking at 10 scholarship players and a few walk-ons right now for Penny Hardaway's team. Penny Hardaway was part of yesterday's Pro-Am and today playing out at Spring Creek Ranch in the event that's also raising money for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. J.J. McCarthy, the Vikings rookie quarterback, out for the season after needing knee surgery. And also from the NFL, the Patriots trading pass rusher Matthew Judon. He goes to the Falcons for a third-round pick.
On the quarterback front, Matt Stafford left the Rams-Cowboys joint practice yesterday with a hamstring injury. If the Rams don't, if they don't think it's serious, and I assume he will not play anymore, they will not play at all in the preseason.
Right.
But they pretty much have to have him for week one because Jimmy Garoppolo is suspended for the first two games.
Right.
So,
and Stetson Bennett.
It would be Stetson Bennett, their starting quarterback for the first 2 weeks of the season.
Who threw 4 picks in the preseason game last week.
Wasn't healthy.
That's right. He threw 4. Now, he threw the game-winning touchdown pass, but he threw 4 picks in the game last week for the Rams in the preseason. Yeah, they'd be in a little bit of trouble to open
They've
up the season.
They've got another quarterback. I don't know who it is, but I know they have one other quarterback who would be the backup at that point, and I'm not even sure who that fourth quarterback is right now.
Folks, no matter what new Chevy or pre-owned car you're looking for, our friends at All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch have it on the lot or in the showroom in Olive Branch. And if you don't see it, they'll get it for you. That's their promise. All-Star Chevy's end-of-summer sale going on right now. Together, let's drive what we really want to drive in. You have choices. You have variety. Come pick 2 or 3 out. Test drive them today. If you can't find it there, again, you can't find it anywhere. They don't have it. I'm looking at 20 or 30 new Silverados that they have marked down as much as 12%. 12% off. That's going to save you thousands. Every Tahoe you could want for road trips and tailgating. Plus, check this out. Law enforcement, all first responders, healthcare, teachers, military workers, college students, graduates. You get an extra $500 bonus. They have all the pre-owns you're looking for, all the trucks like the Rams, the Silverados, the Broncos, the 4Runners. They even have Audis and Hyundais and Palisades, even a sweet Corvette Stingray. Best week to get the most money on any vehicle you want to sell. Bring it to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch. Get a big check today. Don't miss out. It's the All-Star Chevy's end of summer sale. It's going on right now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet. You can also go online to allstarautogroup.com. When we come back, another season with Harold Grader and the AutoZone Liberty Bowl inside college football hours. We broadcast live from TPC Southwind in the 2024 FedEx St. Jude Championship. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 at 98.5 FM.
Hello, sports fans out there. Walker Taylor here with the Germantown and Collierville Commissary. We just celebrated our 43rd year in business, and I would like to thank our fantastic customers and especially our loyal staff. Time has flown by. We now have a second location, Poplar and Houston Levy in Collierville. Catering is a specialty of ours. 50 to 5,000, no job too small, no job too big. Full service or self-service. We also have a party room in Collierville that is great for rehearsal dinners, business meetings, you name it, we'd love to have you. Also, our barbecue party packs start at $8.75 a person. Barbecue, beans, slaw, bun sauce, including serving utensils. Especially great for tailgating with football season coming up. The commissary restaurants also believe in giving back to the community. Possibly you have been approached by somebody selling a barbecue 6-pack coupon for fundraising. Cheerleading groups, church groups, anything to help a worthy cause. Holidays are near. Smoked hams and smoked turkeys will be on the pit before you know it. Come see us at Germantown and Collierville Commissary. Also check us out at commissarybarbecue.com.
Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee is honored to stand alongside 1,600 dedicated volunteers to make this year's annual FedEx St. Jude Golf Tournament a resounding success. Jimmy Monix Mitchell is a committee member of the Players Shuttle Committee. Jimmy, why was it important to you to become a tournament volunteer?
I love volunteering, and being here means something to me with regard to knowing that it's going to the children. Cancer has impacted my family, and just knowing that the things that we're doing, the money that's being raised is going towards cancer research, specifically for children. It warms my heart.
So what's your favorite part of being a volunteer?
I literally get to interact with every golfer because we drive them from hole 9 to hole 10. So I get to experience whether or not they're having a good day or a bad day based on how talkative they are when they get on the golf cart, and I really enjoy that.
To read more about how Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee helps our communities, please visit bcbst.com.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. For nearly 2 decades, we've installed some of the best roof systems across the Mid-South. To the tens of thousands of clients we've served, we are honored. So many of you call our team at Brian Elder Roofing your roofers. Our team is dedicated to serving you and keeping your family safe, dry, and mold-free. The recent hailstorms have caused massive damage, and many of these will go unnoticed for years, even though the golf ball-sized hail we just experienced in the Mid-South compromises even the best-built roof system. Whether we find damage or not, your photos are securely stored for future reference. Call Brian Elder Roofing today for a total evaluation of your entire roof system free. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. Call me at 901-867-0303. That's 901-867-0303. Or visit us online at brianellerroofing.com.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights, open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Belting. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. It's gotten even heavier in the last 15-20 minutes on I-40 westbound. But, hey, at least it's moving over here from Chambers Chapel, Canada Road on 40 West all the way up to Sycamore View Road as that traffic picks up even more now. Coming across the Hernando de Soto Bridge on 40 eastbound, headed towards Memphis from West Memphis. Traffic still positive right now, even in the construction zone over here on 55 north and southbound between McLemore and South Parkway. Havenly Showers is your curbless shower specialist. Transform your bathroom with a tub. Curbless shower conversion. HavenlyShowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back, everybody. 9:04 the time, hour 3 here on Sports 56 Mornings, the Thursday, August 15th, 2024 edition. Third hour of the program brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More, and they bring you now on Thursdays another edition, another year of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. Greg and Eli, Zach back in the Family Leisure Studios, and the one and only HG, Mr. Harold Grader, joining us here on site inside the hub at TPC Southwind. Welcome aboard.
Great to see you guys.
Great to
Ready
see you.
for another year of college football with you. And what a venue. Isn't this fun? This is a blast.
It really is. By the way, again, folks, if you're coming out, be ready. It's August. And look, Harold, you've been here long enough. Eli, myself, it's August. It's going to be hot. But today could be exceptionally hot. They're talking about maybe even 114 heat index, 96 for the temperature, 80 right now. So not that bad right now. But, you know, just dress accordingly. A lot of sunscreen, all that good stuff. Wear a hat and enjoy the golf. But
stay hydrated.
But we're going to be enjoying football before too long.
Absolutely.
We are fired up about it.
Absolutely. And I will, just one note before we really dive into college football. I did know, just observing, went down to the range, saw Justin Thomas, roll tide to Justin.
There you go.
Coming here to the hub. You're right. It's a little chilly, but it feels good. I did note, Eli, and this is really for you. You being an astute, seasoned veteran broadcast show host, I did notice that the Sports 56 table is the closest display or location closest to the bar.
Oh, yeah. Do not think that was by accident.
Are you saying Eli Savoy may partake in an adult beverage or two?
Okay. I always make sure that I am the first one out here to set up amongst radio stations.
Yes.
So that I get my choice of table. And I make sure we get the correct table.
It's like the land rush. You know, the first guy there got to stake their plot on land, right? And
if they would let me be where AutoZone is, where literally we could like reach over the table to grab the drinks, I would be happy. But they don't allow us to get that close to the bar.
Well, and I also appreciated the fact that you're at the end of the hub, closest to the Pronto Pup stand. So, breakfast of champions. I had the regular Pronto Pup for quote unquote breakfast and a bottle of water. I'm fired up and ready to go, boys.
I still have never had a Pronto Pup.
I'm not
gotta have one.
I am not going to get into the Pronto Pup thing. I just read. I don't want to. It's. Yes, have a Pronto Pup, everybody.
Don't get Harold mad this early in the season.
Harold, I really did it for you so that we would be right by AutoZone.
There you go, and I appreciate that.
That's
Absolutely.
what I did. I did it for you to be.
And I appreciate
AutoZone.
that.
You're not a golfer.
Used to be many years. Well, you know what?
I was the one that
Here's the thing. I would never have called myself a golfer. I was a guy that had some clubs that swung a club at a ball.
Right.
Enjoyed that. That was back in the Action News 5 days when a bunch of us from the station would get together, or we'd have a station tournament. But I'd never see my work schedule affected this. My off days for my career, my 15 years at 1960 Union, my off days were either Monday, Tuesday, or usually Monday, Tuesday, because I anchor the weekends or work the weekends covering games. So when I was off, all my other buddies were at work. So all of that played into not practicing to get better or playing well enough to enjoy it. And when I did play back then, it'd be, a 5-hour, 6-hour round, and I was like, oh boy, this isn't so enjoyable.
Because in your world now, like golf would be.
Yeah. And then, then kids came along, all that stuff. At my advanced age, I'm thinking about it. Absolutely. Because now I'm not trying to impress anybody. Just go out there, swing the club, have some fun with my buds, guys like you, and, enjoy it.
Go all these
so that is
media days and everything else. Like, you got all kinds of all these conference officials and people you can be playing golf with.
We have plenty of opportunities, I can tell you. A lot, invitations galore.
You can go play with Coach Saban now. He's got some time, although he's working hard for ESPN. But
yes, he is.
He's playing a lot of golf, I heard.
Yes, he is. And rightfully so. He's earned that.
He's earned it. All right. So earlier in the show, we were talking about the video that surfaced yesterday of the press box imploding and down to the ground. Of course, renovations going on at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. You, like us, you've been in that box a lot of times.
Yep.
Is it bittersweet? Is it like good riddance? What's your feelings about everything?
And that has been my response when folks have asked me that question about the demolition at the stadium. I said, when it gets to the press box, that'll hit home for me, because I can tell you, when I was a kid going to those games, and when I started thinking about a potential career, I was always drawn to and just mesmerized by the press box and the ability and the right to go sit in a press box and getting to go to a game for free, and that was your job, whether you were a writer or a broadcaster. And that was just, wow, if I could ever get in that situation where I could actually go there for work and cover a game. And through relationships, friendships, with Jack Eaton, Todd Eaton, and the Eaton family, Todd and I had many, many opportunities when we were young to go sit in that press box with Jack or the stadium manager. Coach Al Brown was the stadium manager when we were kids. He'd give us passes to go to Tiger games, or back then the Rogues outdoor soccer team, and we'd go up in the press box. Anyway, so I've been around that press box in that stadium, gosh, since I was 6, 7, 8 years old, and then obviously doing the two jobs that I've been fortunate to have, whether it's been as a broadcaster or a bowl executive. Watching, and I didn't know that was happening yesterday.
Nor did I.
Because I haven't been following all that on a daily basis. But then last night, I got home from the St. Jude Jam, which was very nice, great event at the Peabody last night. To see it looked like, I'm about to ask those guys about this, it looked like they pulled it down.
Yeah, I think they probably did.
Where it came came down the back side of the building. It was like, wow, okay, there it goes. Pretty amazing.
Yeah,
pretty amazing.
Of course, I talked earlier about the dead bird that sat there for years. Also, other memories of that press box. Got to see Ron Jeremy in there. I remember the game Ron Jeremy showed up in the press box.
Oh, Bob Wynn Oh, gosh. Bob
that was a great memory of it.
Bob, I'm trying to remember this, so I'm not going to do it justice. Bob Wynn, the way he responded, he was so mad, like smoke was coming out of his ears. And he said something like, I've been informed there is a man here of ill repute.
I'll never forget, I remember, looking down, and I saw Ron Jeremy, and I thought to myself, God, that guy looks exactly like Ron Jeremy, but why would Ron Jeremy possibly be in the press box at a Memphis football game?
And it wasn't even a big-name opponent, was it? I'm trying to remember who it was.
But I was just like, there's no way that's Ron Jeremy.
It's like Hedgehog.
But by golly, he looks a lot like Ron Jeremy. I
should know.
I'm like, there's one way we could all find out for sure if it's Ron Jeremy or not, but I'm not going to ask him for that.
Let's not go there. Let's not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know who they were playing. It was like, it was shocking.
That was like the most strange thing. Then, hey, I'm happy to say I was the last guy to use the radio booth
for the Showboats.
The last
there you go. How about
that? Was the last event played before that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What was the first event? Do you know?
I don't know. I would assume it was the Memphis Ole Miss football game of '65.
Oh, really?
Yes.
State of the art at the time, right?
Was Ron Jeremy at that one?
How about the flag? It's not a flag. It's a flag, but it's a sign.
It's a light up. It's light bulbs in the shape of an American flag.
It's been there forever.
Yeah.
And so they took it down, took care of it. So where is that, and what do they plan to do with that?
I don't know the specifics of that, Greg.
They're putting it somewhere back in the stadium. I don't know if they have the place yet.
It's like 100 years old.
Wow.
So they were going to they got it down, put it in some sort of frame to preserve it. And so I think they're going to refurbish it and reuse it and put it on display. And, it's part of the history and legacy of our city. Originally it was on the roof of either the Commercial Appeal or the Press Center building downtown way back when.
How about that?
And then at some point, maybe it was with the bicentennial. I'm not sure the history of what year it was actually moved to the stadium. I don't think it moved to the stadium. It was placed on top of the press box when the stadium opened in '65. Jimmy Ogle, the city historian, would know all those details, or someone with the city may know all that. But it's been around a long time, and it's a cool piece of our city's history.
And obviously, the next 2 years while they renovate, the total capacity will be a lot less than you guys are used to with your game, with the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game. So looking at about 32 or thereabouts. I started to see already the preseason predictions of the bowl game and what opponents could be coming to play. But certainly that's going to be a lot different for you guys when you're used to crowds in the 50s and 60s.
And we anticipate for our game, Greg, that capacity will be high 30s, pushing 40.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just because of the university is, as I understand it, they're going to continue to have the scaffolding, the quote-unquote premium areas in the stands. Yeah. And when our game is over, that's coming out because we need as many seats as we can.
Okay.
So our capacity will be higher than whatever the university has. And who knows, by the time we roll around to December, what the state of things will be at the stadium. But we're expecting high 30s pushing 40 for our capacity for the 66th AutoZone Liberty Bowl. 66.
Wow.
How about that?
How much of a factor do you think, when it comes down to it, is renovations that are taking place at the football stadium where the Tigers play, renovations at FedEx Forum where the Tigers play, of course the Grizzlies home, as far as future realignment if it happens? How important is it that they're doing this?
Greg, I would say it's certainly needed to be done. It's certainly an important factor, but when it comes to that issue of getting an invitation into a Power 4 conference, it's not just one thing, it is a bunch of things.
Yep.
And I think the University of Memphis has been doing the things that need to be done are doing those things, will continue to be doing those things. It starts with facilities, the stadium, the forum, on campus, improving all of your facilities, investing. And now, as we see, not just in the context of the University of Memphis, but just the landscape of college athletics in general, some schools have had to hit the pause button on facilities projects because now they have another mouth to feed, so to speak, and that's NIL. Mm-hmm. So they have a lot of buckets they've got to fill up with cash, and they're all important. So it's stadium. This is about back to the University of Memphis. So it's stadium, NIL. You still have scholarships to fund. You still have just the running of the athletic department and all the expenses that go along with that. So it's a heavy lift. And this is when, Tiger fans and everyone across this community that supports the university, and I say this as a Tiger fan, and I'm not bashful about it. I'm fortunate enough to be a donor at a certain level and glad to be able to do that for my school. And it's going to take all of us Tiger people, whether that's your school as a graduate or that's just the team that you follow and support, to get the Tigers there. And again, dollars still have to be raised for the stadium. Again, NIL, that is an ongoing, never-ending quest for dollars. And again, all those other elements, scholarships, and just funding the athletic department and the operation of the athletic department, salaries and just everything else that goes with that.
Seems impossible to be able to raise as much money as you need to be able to keep up with the Joneses. It seems like it's going to be the hardest endeavor they've ever had to undertake, to be able to, as you say, feed that many mouths, if you will. I know they're going to try.
Oh, absolutely.
And I know they got a good start with Fred and the Smith family and what FedEx is doing, helping out the university. But there's a lot of money to be raised and a lot of things that have to be accomplished.
There is. And going back to your question about future conference movement for the University of Memphis, I would say, Greg, they're doing all the things they need to do. And I don't think that was necessarily the case back in the history of this, for whatever reason. But they are doing and have been doing everything that you need to do so when that opportunity comes, if it comes, that they are at the front of that line of, okay, Conference X, who do you want? The school at the front of that line, I think, will be the University of Memphis.
Well said, Harold.
I hope so.
Well said. All right.
It's the whole thing. I mean, when you just consider how much for all of these schools, like just the idea of new money, as you said, that you've got to come up with in the next year, basically. If the revenue sharing starts next year with the roster limits, but no limit, so if you're going to fund full scholarships for 105 football players, plus all the other sports, plus the revenue sharing, the NIL, everything, the amount of new money these athletic departments have to come up with is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Plus you have Title IX. So if you're going to if you're able to fund 105 football scholarships as opposed to 85 before, and then you had a bunch of walk-ons, you got to find now 20 more for women's sports to fund as well. It has to be equal. And I'm just saying, then there's other scholarships for other sports, but I'm just saying, just to keep up with the Joneses of football, you have to make that. So it is a huge financial commitment.
And the NIL aspect of all of that is, let's separate those out. The building project is the building project. And at some point, either they're going to fund it all or they're not. I think they will over time. But when that's done, it's done.
Yeah.
NIL is never ending. Never ending.
And revenue sharing is not going to be.
And revenue sharing is
that's going to be the one.
And those extra scholarships aren't ending if you're going to do them.
That's right. And just to talk about the football scholarship issue, when I was at SEC Media Days in Dallas, that was one of the topics coaches were being asked. And now, obviously, that has been passed. My sense and my understanding, talking and reading, is that the football coaches were never asked, really.
No. That's what Ryan Silverfield said.
Do you want to go to 105? Because the thing out of the blocks, and I recall having this conversation with Butch Jones when Arkansas State came through for their spring event, and he said, and I had read this from a couple of other coaches who have sons who play football, and they want to play for their dad, and they go as a walk-on. So these coaches are saying, wow, does this end the opportunity for my son to have the opportunity to play college football, be a part of college football, and be a part of my program, and for us as a family to have that experience together if they're doing away with walk-on? So, I haven't seen or read or heard of a coach who really wants to be at 105 versus preferring to have the walk-on program.
Right.
So we'll see how that plays out, because just because you can go to 105 doesn't mean you have to go to 105.
No, again, I don't see how.
Right?
Again, I don't see how.
How's all that going to work?
Yeah, but if you don't,
how can the group of 5 schools possibly afford all of this stuff?
Right.
You can't.
You can't.
Right.
But then again, if you're trying to compete when the others are at 105 and you're at 85, that's 20 quality players that know they can get a full ride there, where they'd be a preferred walk-on at another place. Where are they going to go? So that you're fighting an uphill battle there. But then again, if you don't have the ammunition to fight it, what are you going to do? As Eli just said, Ryan Silverfield made that point that you just did. Said none of the coaches were asked about this. I mean, who actually made that decision?
The presidents and chancellors.
Was it the football oversight committee that started that? I'm not sure.
I mean, again,
ultimately,
it's a conference commissioners, presidents, and chancellors make all these decisions.
They ultimately vote on it and decide, hey, this is what we're doing.
All right.
They don't care what the they don't care what the
and let's face it, it's the Power Four that's driving all of that, and that's how they want it and where they want it, and again, that's just a piece of the separation of the top 4 conferences and the rest of college football.
All right, when we come back, we'll talk about the upcoming season. We'll talk about new blood in both the SEC and the Big 12, which could be something that affects your bowl game. We'll do that with Harold Grader, who's joining us here at the Hub as we are broadcasting live from TPC Southwind. It's round number 1 of the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Jenkins Floors and More is the third-hour sponsor of Sports 56 Mornings. These folks are just great people. Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins started this business about 8 years ago in their garage in Cleveland, Mississippi. They started a store there. They still have a store there. But now they have a huge warehouse at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. They also have one in Little Rock. What they do is specialize in flooring and carpeting. I mean, this is hands-on. They will come to you. They will give you a free estimate. And then if you go with Jenkins Floors and More, you're talking about a 2-week turnaround to get the job done. That's incredible. Why have they been so successful? Because of the quality of work, because of their attention to detail and their pricing. That's why they've earned the reputation of being one of the top flooring companies in the area. Ceramic and porcelain tiles, they got the SPC and WPC vinyls, which are scratch-resistant and waterproof. Hardwoods by Portercraft, carpeting from Southern Luxury Carpet, all different styles, colors, and granite, porcelain, and more. They just have everything at that warehouse. So stop on by, see what they have to offer, or call them at 662-469-9350. See what they're all about. They're open Monday through Saturday. Again, they'll come out and give you a free estimate. Military, first responders, you get 10% off. Sports 56 listeners, ask about your family discount. It's Jenkins Floors and More, third-hour sponsor of Sports 56 Mornings. Go see him in Horn Lake at 2356 Goodman Road, or again, call them at 662-469-9350. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings and the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Lowe's knows our great paint savings mean you can get the colors you want at prices you'll love. Right now, get 20% off 1-gallon cans and 5-gallon pails of Valspar Defense paint or cabinet stain. Shop now because it's the perfect time to maintain your deck and paint your outdoor spaces. Visit us in-store or online today because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 8/21. Selection varies by location. See store at Lowe's.com for details.
Maybe, like me, you're not a morning person. Maybe you, like me, like to sleep in. That's why Sunrise on Jefferson and Sunrise East on Poplar both serve breakfast until they close at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There's no law that says you can't have the freshest, tastiest, all-around bestest breakfast in Memphis for lunch. Just head to either Sunrise location and proudly order yourself some eggs, some signature house-made square biscuits, or maybe even throw in a Bloody Mary. It's your breakfast. Have it when you want. And, of course, have it at Sunrise.
We have a job to do. To protect the peace, the pride, and the people of our city. To realize our greatness together. To do the work that matters. For ourselves, our family, our community. We have the strength to serve. Learn the true value of a challenging and rewarding career in law enforcement with the Memphis Police Department. Join the best in you. Visit joinmpd.com.
All 650 acquisition fee, $20,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE794066, MSRP 21820, Telluride RG543666, MSRP 39835, EV9 R602 29603, MSRP 61035. Lease terms include all rebates and incentives and a PF 695, includes tax, title, license, registration, and fees. Must finance through Hyundai with approved credit, valid through 8/31/24. Dealer stock only.
Hey, yo, Jeff Allen, what's up over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
I know what's down, Randy. Prices at Gossett Kia Mount Moriah. You looking to save? 41 MPG Highway in a 2024 Kia Forte LXS, $199 a month, $37.99 due at signing. I've got a 2024 Kia Telluride S front-wheel drive, $379 per month, $39.99 due at signing. And Randy, talk about saving big bucks. 304 EPA estimate range for $389 a month in a 2024 Kia EV9 Lite, $49.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease.
Plus the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy, classic wings. Made to order, cooked to perfection. And sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. And of course, spicy Cajun fried corn. I think you heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at Wingstop.com.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 9:30 is the time. We're here at TPC Southwind. We're inside the hub, just off the 18th fairway. Round 1 of the FedEx St. Jude Championship going on. And again, a big shout-out to all our great golf sponsors. Landers Ford's our title sponsor. Our scoreboard sponsor is Sissy's Log Cabin. And our other sponsors, and we can't thank them enough, First National Bank, Jason's Deli, Wade Incorporated, your North Mississippi John Deere dealer, Ronnie Grisani's Town Village Audubon Park, Banyan Tree Realtors, Wilson's Power Wash, DeSoto Honda, Jim's Place, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, and Memphis Tourism and the Memphis Sports Council.
Got two guys tied for the lead, Tommy Fleetwood and Ben Griffin, both 3 under par. Fleetwood through 4 holes, Griffin through 9 holes on their opening rounds. And, of course, if you come on out here and see us at the hub, you can register to win 4 tickets for the Tigers' Week 2 game against Troy. All you can do is fill out an entry blank, drop it in the box. Got all day today, all day tomorrow to come on by and fill out one of those entry slips to try and win 4 tickets to go see the Tigers and Troy on September the 7th. All you can do is come by our table here in the hub.
Well, we've had a lot to talk about today, not just golf. We had baseball talk with Kerry Miller, and this hour it is the return of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. Harold Grader is joining us. So HG, looking ahead, and we haven't even kicked off the season yet, but there's 4 new teams in the Big 12. There's 2 new teams in the SEC, possibly some new blood in your game.
Yes, indeed, and we're excited about that. Obviously, on the SEC side, it's Texas and OU. When you look at the possibilities for this year's AutoZone Liberty Bowl, I got to tell you, Oklahoma could be in our mix.
Sure.
Stepping into the SEC, obviously a different kind of situation for them, as well as Texas. How will they compete? We'll see. But Oklahoma could very well be in the mix for us. So we're going to be following them. I can tell you that. We've have planted that seed with the appropriate people with the OU. So, people say, what do you say when you're going to meetings, media days and spring meetings, and people always say, what do you say to them? Look, the common line, in at least how we do it at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Coach or AD, we hope you go undefeated. If you don't, and you're in that 6, 7, 8 win neighborhood, maybe there's an opportunity for a conversation, and if that happens, let's talk come late November. So OU could be in that neighborhood, so to speak, and we'll see it. But we've planted that seed with them. Then on the Big 12 side, 4 new. They added 4 last year, 4 this year. Just to refresh everyone's memory, last year the new teams were BYU, Cincinnati, UCF, Houston. For 2024, Arizona State, Colorado, and Utah are new to the Big 12. Fully expect of those 4, I really expect Utah. I expect them to be in the mix in the Big 12. 16-team league. So, again, it just gives us, to your question and your point, Greg, some new potential opportunities because when you look at our history over the previous 65, I will want to say of those new schools from either last year or this year that have not been in our game, it's Arizona State are the only 2. We've had BYU. We've had Colorado. We've had Utah, and those 4 teams that moved from the American to the Big 12 last year. Texas and OU, jumping back to the SEC side, those teams have never been in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. So new opportunities there.
How about this? Colorado, and again, I don't know if they get the 6, but that's the goal, that they'll be better this year. If they do and they become bowl eligible, Coach Prime in Colorado and that 3-ring circus, how much popularity there is with that program and coach, possibly.
Wouldn't that be something?
In Memphis?
That would be interesting.
That would be really interesting.
Sucks for Channel 3. Their guys can't ask him any questions.
Very good, Eli.
So with this year, for folks who, because I'm sure people have this question, the 12-team playoff.
Yes.
How does that affect you guys and the selection process, which really it doesn't have much effect?
It doesn't. And I'm glad you asked because we get that question a lot.
I'm sure that's what many people ask.
Just walk through that. Last year in the previous years, we knew the term New Year's 6. The 6 big games, 12 teams. Now we come to an expanded playoff, and those same 12 teams that we didn't have access to last year, we don't have access to them this year, nor will we in 2025. So the expanded playoff does not impact us at all. We'll still be working in a expanded pool of potential teams now because of the new teams in the leagues, with the SEC in the Big 12 now going to 16, going back to the previous question. But we are not directly impacted by the 12-team playoff. Now, down the road, and that's a whole different topic, of what does postseason college football look like starting in 2026, those questions will begin to be answered later this year, early next year, as plans and contracts and arrangements are finalized for years 26 and beyond. But for now, we have our conference contracts with the SEC and the Big 12. SEC, to remind folks, we're in a pool with 5 other games. Ultimately, the SEC office assigns us our SEC team with some input from teams and the bowl game. And then on the Big 12 side, again, we have the 4th selection of teams out of the Big 12 once the playoff teams are determined. So we're excited about the opportunity to have some new and added teams to the mix on both sides of our conference affiliation.
So your selection is still the same. You'll have the 3rd selection of the Big 12.
Fourth out of the Big 12.
After their teams go to the playoffs, 4th selection, and then the SEC still in the pool after the playoffs, and then the Citrus Bowl.
Yeah.
Do you have a guess as to? And you're absolutely right. During this season, going into early next year, they have to figure out what's going on for 2026 and beyond. Do you have any guess as to whether they'll stay with 12, they'll do something different? I mean, what's going to happen in the landscape of college football, in your opinion?
You know, Greg, I was thinking they might go to 14. Now I've revised that just because I had some conversations with the national guys that are, deep into this each and every day. They're living it and they're covering it. The Dennis Dodds and folks at that level, at the national level. Those guys are saying they think it's going to 16. So I have altered my opinion just based on their expertise and the fact that they're covering it every day and they're talking to presidents and ADs every day about that topic. So I think there will be an expansion. Again, just based on what the guys that live it and breathe it every day are saying and reporting and putting out there. And that will mean 2 more bowl games probably being pulled into the playoff. We'll see what that looks like. Do they add more bye games, or what's that going to look like? Will they continue to have on-campus games in the first round?
Well,
all of those questions are going to have to be answered, for the future. And it's going to be interesting to see. I know everyone in our world is really interested in seeing how those first-round on-campus games are going to go, the logistics of all of that. I know there's at least 1, if not 2, Memphis hotels that are holding rooms for a potential playoff game at Ole Miss.
Because the thing would be, I guess you have to see that, but even if they go to 16, if they do away with all the byes and you just play, everybody plays in the first round,
and
then that wouldn't even be more bowl games in it. You'd have the 8 on site, and then you're down to 8, and you have your bowl games the way you have it.
So yeah, that's one potential possibility. But again, if the on campus works, my sense is, because going into this, I kept hearing AD friends from both leagues and around the country said, yeah, we like the thought of that on campus game because we can put that into our season ticket package to promote season ticket sales. Hey, if we're in the playoff and we're hosting a first round game, you want to get that ticket, you got to buy the season ticket. So again, it'll be interesting to follow all of that and see how all that works out and the logistics of it. I know talking to friends at the Cotton Bowl, just the logistics and the schedule of when teams come in, what kind of hospitality can you or can you not. If I'm recalling right, with the Cotton Bowl this year, those teams are coming in, I think, 2 days before the game, and all of the quote-unquote hospitality, there's nothing off-site. So anything that they're going to do for the team is going to be done at their team hotel. And just because of the time crunch and demands and things like that.
It's no longer a bowl week for those.
Yeah,
it's a bowl
the
couple
Cotton
days.
Bowl, either they're coming in 2 days before the game or the day before the game. I want to say it's 2 days before the game. So, again, different world, different model. Luckily for us at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, we still have that tried and true tradition of, the teams are going to come in a few days early and we're going to be able to show them the city and have some hospitality for them, have a team welcome party and all those things that go into that, what we all refer to as the bowl experience. And that's still, I think, and I'm old school, but I still think those things are important.
Tradition still exists with the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game. One other topic, and then we'll take a break. You mentioned Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Think about the possibilities of this upcoming season
around
our region.
Yes.
if Memphis could be the representative of the group of 5.
Right.
Ole Miss is actually predicted by many to make it to the playoff. Maybe even Tennessee, if the SEC's getting 4 or 5 in, and they can have the type of season that they hope under Nico as their new quarterback. Could you imagine? Could you imagine a first-round matchup, Memphis and Ole Miss at Vaught Hemingway?
Well, I fully expect that the group of 5 representative to be the 12th seed. And that's a whole nother topic that we can get into as the year goes along. These aren't going to be rankings. They're going to be seeded to the playoff. So the 12th seeded team I fully expect to be the group of 5, which we all hope it will be the Tigers coming out of the American as their champion. So it'll be 5 versus 12. So if Memphis were in that scenario is the 12th seed, they play team 5. Could be the Ole Miss Rebels. Could be.
Most people believe, like if you look at all the projections of it, the popular opinion is the 12th seed, the group of 5 representative, will play the loser of the SEC championship game. Like everybody believes the loser of the SEC championship game will probably be the 5th seed.
And Eli, that is a reasonable thought process to put out there. Absolutely.
Because you have the 4 champions.
Yeah.
And figuring the loser of the SEC championship game will be the highest seeded loser of a championship game.
Non-champion,
And so that would make sense. So if that's Ole Miss or Texas or again, if you're Memphis as the 12th seed, like you're playing it plays somebody out that good way, like you're playing at Georgia or at Texas or at Ole Miss, like just for the local stuff, like just like crazy to think about those possibilities.
You know what?
Awesome.
You know what any of the Tigers would say? Bring it on.
Let's go. Absolutely.
Folks, right now, Genesis Diamonds, they got a special going on. 20% off all GIA certified diamond rings, but it only goes through the end of this week, Sunday at 5 p.m. That deal is off the table, so you got a limited time to take advantage of it. Talking about prices you've never thought possible, and it might be a half carat, might be 20 carats, anything in between. All handpicked for maximum brilliance, all graded by the most prestigious gem lab in the world, and right now marked down 20%. Genesis Diamonds, Poplar and Perkins Extended, that's where you'll find them. Again, all sizes, all shapes, all cuts, everything. GIA certified diamonds on sale, 20% off at Genesis Diamonds.
We have one segment to go. We'll come back with more, from Mr. Harold Grader in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour, and we'll give you another update of the FedEx St. Jude Championship Round 1 with a Sissy's Log Cabin scoreboard, leaderboard update. It's all coming up when we return. You're tuned into Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the Little Red Tractor from Case IH, the Farmall, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Mid-South Ag can show you they aren't just for farms anymore. With horsepower ranging from 30 to 105, plus an army of attachments, they can tackle every chore on your to-do list, from hauling and mowing to loading and towing and then some. Stop by Mid-South Ag Equipment or call 662-890-3141 to find a Case IH Farmall that's right for you.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's grape.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
I'm Chevy Kim, Sheriff of Floyd Park. If you're really looking for a career that provides a successful company, then become the deputy sheriff or a correctional. It's your chance to make a difference in our
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy, classic wings. Made to order, cooked to perfection. And sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. And, of course, spicy Cajun fried corn. I think you heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at Wingstop.com.
Welcome back, everybody. 9:48 the time. Final segment here on our Thursday edition of Sports 56 Mornings, broadcasting live from TPC Southwind, round one of the FedEx St. Jude Championship. We'll give you an update on the leaderboard, brought to you by Sissy's Log Cabin, in just a few moments. Harold Grader with us for the inaugural show of 2024, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. How many years now, HG, have we done this?
Oh,
do you
my
have
gosh.
any idea how many years? Do you know, Eli? We're in double digits, right?
You know,
I have no idea.
I want to say, my first full year with the bowl was 99. I wouldn't be surprised if we started it in 99, maybe 2000.
What? We've been
maybe.
going that long?
Was it that far back?
No.
Well, our show started in 2005. We got the longest running show in the city, so I mean, it can't be.
Because what's your recollection? I remember starting,
come on in the
or maybe
mornings,
it was
I know.
a segment.
Used
Maybe
to
it was
do
a
segment
segment
in the mornings, and then I don't remember what year we went to the full hour. I'm not sure,
but it's been a while.
It used to be a segment in the morning.
I want to say I did a show with Chris.
You may have. I can't.
Maybe
remember.
that was a segment. I remember doing a noon. Maybe it was the morning. That was a year or two ago.
Well,
but Sports 56 has been a great partner, and it has evolved into this. And as far as the AutoZone Liberty Bowl hour, gosh, Eli, we're in our second contract with you guys from a quote unquote sponsorship perspective. Those have been 6-year deals because they've mirrored our conference deals.
Yeah,
and
we've been doing this for it's been probably at least 15 years.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
That we've been doing,
and we will bring back the Pick Six, the world famous Pick Six.
Yeah.
Will begin obviously leading into week number 1. Give somebody an opportunity to go up against one of us for some delicious Central barbecue. We'll do that again. That's always fun.
Yeah, and are we going to start next week?
Well, week 0 is how many games?
Because the first, it's only D1. It's only 4. We can do a pick 4.
So we could do that.
Because I'm just going to remind folks,
like a bonus.
Everybody's talking about Labor Day weekend. The season starts. There is football a week from Saturday, the 24th. Some pretty good games. Florida State, Georgia Tech.
In Ireland.
Ireland.
Montana State, New Mexico, SMU at Nevada, and Delaware State at Hawaii.
Well, Eli, you make the call.
We ain't doing no pick.
I knew he was going to say that.
Oh, come on.
It'll be a pick 1, Florida State, Georgia Tech.
And what do they normally win? $50?
$25.
$25. Okay, make it $2. get one rib.
So do you think
one bone?
Look, I mean, this is nobody knows. Nobody knows how the season's going to go. But Harold, do you think it really is going to be a situation where the SEC or the Big Ten will get 5, the other will get 4, the 2 other power conferences will only get their champion, and then the group of 5 highest-ranked champion? You think really it's going to come down to that?
I know there's some talk of that.
No, because Notre Dame will be in.
Will they? Are they going to be that good?
But you don't think there'll be
with their schedule?
Probably so.
I don't think they're going to lose more than 2.
But the point I'm making is a second team from the Big 12 or the ACC, they're out of luck?
My projection, and I don't have it with specific teams yet, I think there are going to be 4 from each of the Big Ten and the SEC.
The Big 2. So 8.
I think that's going to be 8, and then you have the group of 5. That's 9. That leaves 4.
Right,
hey, what are you going to do with those
three?
4? Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, 3.
Wait, one would be ACC, one would be Big 12. At least one spot.
At least one spot.
So where's that going to go?
Notre Dame or
one of the other 2 big conferences.
One of them gets
maybe. Well, yeah, we'll see.
But the ACC will claim Big Notre Dame. They'll say they got 2 teams.
Right.
Hell, they're claiming Katie Ledecky's golds, for goodness sake. They'll absolutely claim Notre Dame in the playoff.
But again, think about it though. And I'm not saying that the SEC won't deserve 5 or the Big Ten 5. If it's what you said, you're talking about the 2 other power conferences. Aside from their champion, which gets in automatically, only 1 at large. And so when we talk about things like a breakaway with the Big Ten and the SEC, it just adds more fuel to the fire. They got to be looking and going, wait a minute, you're telling me the conference over here, although they bring in a little bit more money than us, we're supposedly of equal footing. They're getting 5, and we're getting our champion, and that's it?
Right.
You don't think that would be?
That's where those committee meetings are going to be, because you never know, you never hear what really is said, but internally, you know that is going to be a not only say knockdown, drag out, but some intense debate when it comes to Selection Sunday, and what are you doing there?
Yeah, how do you argue, well, I think the 5th best team from this conference is better than the other power conference's 2nd place team? That's going to be interesting, even though it may very well be that team may be better.
And that's where you have to, as the season goes along, just keep tabs on quality wins. It's not only who you beat, but if you lose, who do you lose to? Is that a quality loss, quote unquote? Those types of things. So
the SEC is going to play a lot of the teams that are going to be in that possible argument.
Yeah.
And if Georgia kills Clemson and Clemson finishes 2nd in the ACC, well, they don't have much of an argument. You got the Texas-Michigan game. If Texas slaughters Michigan at Michigan and Michigan ends up 2nd in the Big Ten, okay, well, our whatever team beat the crap out of your 2nd team in their building. Like the SEC will have a chance with the Texas A&M Notre Dame. If Texas A&M beats Notre Dame, if the SEC wins all of these games amongst all these other teams that figure to be in the conversation, well, they can eliminate that conversation in a hurry.
Well, that's true. I mean, head-to-head will obviously be huge, but if you're talking about a non-conference game and you look at early in the season and Clemson loses to Georgia and that takes them out of the mix, well, then how about in conference? Even though you're playing a lot more teams, what happens when they look back and they go, well, Georgia played this team that we're considering and Georgia beat them? You know what I'm saying? They knocked them out of consideration. How much will head-to-head matter in the conference when they're talking about it as opposed to the non-conference?
Well, I mean, it's going to play a part. There's no doubt. I mean, yes, obviously. But again, I'm just saying, and it could go the other way. If the SEC lost all these games, then these other conferences could say, look what we did against the SEC head-to-head.
Yep.
I mean, so they have the chance to prove, should we be considered with them or not? If they all lose, well, then it's hard to say, no, we should be considered the same as the SEC. No, you lost every time you played them.
Well,
every time one of your good teams plays them, you lose.
I agree with you.
And to that,
I agree.
And then over in the corner, you have Mike Norvell in Florida State raising their hand as
right.
Remember last year?
Right.
We won them all, and we still didn't get there.
And then, as Eli said, Notre Dame still in the mix, still independent, still doing their own thing, which just seems like crazy in 2024. Not on their part, but just crazy with all the money that's going around, what the SEC teams are making, what the Big Ten teams are making, and they're still doing their own little thing, and they'll be in the mix when it's all said and done. Harold, it's going to be a fun year.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Quick reminder, the Memphis Touchdown Club gets started next week. Interesting Tuesday, first meeting. Cole Kubelik from the SEC Network is the guest speaker. Rest of the year, Tony Barnhart, Mr. College Football. Hunter Yurachek, who is on the CFP selection committee. I'm sure we'll talk about some CFP. They can't say a whole lot, but I'm sure we'll talk some of this. Billy Glasscock, the GM of Ole Miss football. Ryan Silverfield, Jackie Sherrill, the legend from Mississippi State, A&M, Pitt. He's going to be on there. Alyssa Lang, our friend from SEC Network. Chad Bumpus from Mississippi State, wide receivers coach. And Clinton Dick scheduled to make the trip up from Tuscaloosa, former star and now player personnel director. So we're off and running with the Memphis Touchdown Club, off and running with college football. It starts a week from Saturday. I'm ready to go. Ready to go. Thanks for this. This is going to be a fun year.
Thanks,
guys.
We'll talk to you next week. Real quick, a Sissy's Log Cabin leaderboard update.
Ben Griffin on fire, made 4 straight birdies, birdied 8, 9, 10, and 11. He is at 5 under par now through 12 holes. He's got a 2-shot lead. Tom Kim and Tommy Fleetwood, a couple of Toms, both at 3 under par. Kim through 9, Fleetwood through 6. Cameron Young, Taylor Pendrith, Chris Kirk, all at 2 under par. The grouping of Rory McIlroy and Colin Morikawa, they just teed off about 10 minutes, just over 10 minutes ago. So one of the premier groups of the day. They are now out on the course. Course numbers 1 and 2, Scotty Scheffler and Xander Schauffele. They'll tee off this afternoon at 12:45. So the action is fast and furious now out on the golf course.
Yeah, Ben Griffin in that first duo to go off today at 7:20 with Justin Rose. That'll do it for us today. Dave Willoshin is coming up next. We thank John Mackey. We thank Kerry Miller. And we, of course, thank Harold Grader for joining us on the show. Tomorrow we're packed. John Varlas among our guests. Ron Rivera, the former NFL head coach. We'll have a couple of folks from the PGA Tour that'll be joining us as well, including the Senior Director and International TPC Agrimony head. This guy will tell us about the grass and what they use and how they go ahead and get that all ready for a golf tournament as big as this one. We want to thank you. For Zach Boyd and Eli Savoy, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow starting 7 a.m.